Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Six, seven. That's right, baby. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the Two Dumb Yinzers. I want to say good morning to everybody. Yeah, this 6-7, it's driving me crazy. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it came from, but the kids won't stop saying 6-7. So I became yeah. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No. I was about to say the same thing.
I decided to become extremely annoying right back. Where am I getting this feedback? It's got to be coming from somewhere. I hear my own voice. And that was the thing, like, they walk around all day going 6-7. So I decided to start going 8-9. A matter of fact, I didn't come up with that. I seen somebody was doing that. And it's pretty effective because it annoys the kids so much. Mm-hmm. They will stop at saying the 6-7 all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I just walk around the house going 8-9 right behind them, and they're like, stop it. Don't do that. That's cringe.
Oh,
Why are you doing that?
You're being so cringe.
You're being so cringe.
I bust out though when they go 6-7. I just go, suck it.
Yeah.
Of course, then you get the police called on you because I think you're soliciting a minor. So yeah, it's a fine line you got to weave.
These kids are out of control.
They're nuts.
Good morning,
we were never
everybody.
Like that.
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. I do want to say good morning to Cody, Corey, and John on the board. Great seeing everybody.
What's up, gentlemen?
Bright and early on this Tuesday morning. This is Mike Tomlin Day. Mike will be on top of that as the show goes on. Anything that's said during the Mike Tomlin conference this afternoon, any big news like that, Mike will certainly get that to us as soon as he hears.
Yes.
I do want to say good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning, Cody. Corey says, hey, fellas, how we doing? Sorry I missed the show yesterday. Mondays are my editing days after the gym, and I got less than time. No problem, man.
It's all good, brother.
You got to do what you got to do. John says the Steelers moved from 1.8% to 2.2% chance to win the Super Bowl. National average ranking is 14th, not being negative, just realistic. And it's an interesting year, guys. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the teams. Of course, last night Jacksonville beats Kansas City, which I think that if that's not as good as an indicator as any to say that this year just might be up for grabs. Mike, I mean, yes, Jacksonville's sitting at 4-1. Yes, Jacksonville's looking pretty good. But again, at the end of the day, it's Jacksonville, and they beat, again, at the end of the day, Kansas City. So, I mean, that has to say, you have to say to yourself, at this point, it seems like the Super Bowl's up for grabs as much as it's been in a long time. And, I still think the favorites would be Buffalo, and I still think the favorite would also be Philadelphia. But at the end of the day, Mike, there's a lot of teams in the NFC that's starting to rise again that was good last year. Yeah. It didn't look so strong to start, but they look strong now. And then in the AFC, if the field's wide open, I think there's a handful of teams that could end up in a Super Bowl eventually. Have that be the case. But Mike, it's an odd year. No two ways about it.
It is, and right now the Steelers are the only team with a negative point differential and a winning record.
Yeah, still 2 points under. Hopefully, we can beat these guys by more than 3 points.
We will win by 1. You watch, we will win by 1 to keep the streak alive. But, it's just this year in the NFL, man, things are not going the way anyone thought they would. At all.
When I'm looking at them standings and looking at those numbers, and everybody in our division still is under 500 as far as points, different point differential. Yeah. And also, Mike, another interesting thing that I did see was of the 4 last place teams in the AFC, the one that's 0-5, the Jets, they have a lot more points scored than the 3 teams that are 1-4 or whatever it is.
Yeah, you have one good offensive output game, and then it can skew it. Or you're in a lot of high scoring games, but you're on the losing end of the stick.
John says the new thing is vibes. Were the same with they just crash out. I can't get used to crash out because I've been crashing out my whole life, and it's when I get tired.
Well, then crash out got co-opted to mean anyone flipping out. Crash out means when you would more or less crash out and ruin your life. You're like ended up going to jail or some shit.
Like flipping out, I think is a more appropriate term.
Aura. Aura is the word. I hate that. Oh my God, they got so much aura. Oh, look at my team. My team has so much aura. Yeah, they have so much aura. They're 0-5. My team has 0 aura. We're 3-1.
You know how I always go on about these words too, Mike, and these phrases that people do, and it catches on, and everybody's got to do it, and then it disappears. I do. I always bitch about this, and I had something the other day. Matter of fact, it was yesterday, and it was something that was annoying, and it was through football. And I was like, I bet you any money Mike says this tomorrow, and I can't think of what the hell it was.
We were on the same wavelength. I heard something said related to football. I'm like, that's the new score bug.
Yeah, it's the new score bug.
And I wish I knew what it was. Because I think I had the same thought too. I was like, I'm going to fuck with Ryan and say this.
I'm going to think about it.
I can't remember what it was. But I'm sure we'll hear it 50 times this week watching the Steeler game.
I'm sure we'll hear it 50 times between now and then, but it will be during times that I'm not on the show and I can't remember to talk about it. But I'll do my best throughout the show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Cody says, I tell my kids, no cap dog. That shit slaps their slaps, usually gets them to stop.
I always like to go like, hey, man, just keep it bussing, fam. Keep it bussing for real.
I never heard you say that. What are you talking about?
I do it at work. When I say kids, that can be people here at the studio that are tiny, or the people I work with that are 20 years younger than me.
And then Cody also goes on to say, I don't know that Ravens offense was balling out on Sunday. So there you go, guys. We have a lot of we do actually have a lot to get into, guys, today. Mike, I want to start just by a couple of these additions that we made to the team. Again, I don't know. I mean, they're made to the practice squad. I don't know if we're even learn who these people are. But as of yesterday, the Steelers were signing safety Jack Henderson, another Jack, to add to the defense, Mike, of a history of good Jacks. And we also have Jack Sawyer now. So Jack Henderson, albeit on the practice squad, did get signed yesterday, a safety, and then also veteran running back Raheem Blackshear. Mike, he is also getting signed to the practice squad. So a couple little less significant names getting added to the practice squad. early in the week here, getting ready for the Browns, of course, this weekend, Mike. And then after that, it didn't even dawn on me till yesterday. We were doing the show that the Bengals game is just a 4 short days later after the Cleveland game, which I love this. I love this. And I know the teams hate it, and I know fans say, well, they need to rest this. But me as a football fan, if I could wake up on Sunday and watch the Steelers and then wake up again on Thursday and watch the Steelers, I'll do it. Not 10 times out of 10. So I'm excited about it. I know the guys ain't going to be happy. I know they're going to need their rest, but 2 games in 4 days, and then we have the big break before we come back home and play, starting the Indy and Green Bay games. And so it's kind of playing out in a way. I do want to say good morning to Tortilla Jackson on the board. My man, what's up, brother? He's always great seeing Tortilla. Hope things are good out your way. Boo those signings. Boo! Sign a wide receiver already, Cody's saying.
Don't worry. Former first-round bust Treylon Burks has just come off the injured reserve list for Tennessee and has been released. So look for the Steelers to scoop him up.
TJ Husman-Zada, who's been a hated figure.
Zeta?
I say Husman-Zeta. You say Husman-Zada. He's been a hated figure here by Pittsburghers for a long time. All the way back to when he was wiping his shoes with the terrible tie. You know the guy, the longtime Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver. Mike, TJ Husman-Zada doubts the Steelers sitting at 3-1 are as good as they look so far. TJ Husman-Zada says, who have they played? And I always hate this, especially at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Because you only play who you can play.
Exactly.
They give you a schedule. We had 4 games. We played them, and we won 3 of them.
Yeah. That's, it'd be like, you beat Baltimore? They suck this year. Whereas coming into the year, like, oh, shit, man, you beat Baltimore? That's a good team. So the narrative changes. But Minnesota, they came in with the hottest offense and defense, two of the greatest minds ever to scheme up an offense and defense if we went in there and handle business against them. So isn't that a quality win?
You know what? Mike, it's a good question because Minnesota is a quality win. And also, you wouldn't have counted New England as a quality win just 3 days ago. Yeah. But all of a sudden, New England's a quality win now, Mike, especially going to Gillette Stadium and winning that football game.
Yeah, and New England was a lot of people's dark horse to make the playoffs this year. And we were, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers were predicted to finish last in the AFC North.
Mike, we were just a half a game. So Mike, we were just a half a game from the number 1 seed. One more time, as we were when we were 10-3 last year. Just a half a game out of the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah. So a lot of experts had us finishing last or third in the AFC North. So wouldn't all of our victories be better than those should be, looked at as bright spots because we were supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And here we are, half game out of first. We haven't looked that great, but we haven't looked terrible. Even in the Seattle game, which was our worst game, there were still pockets of you can see what the team can do when they're on their game. So, I don't buy that. Like you said, I always hate that. Who did they beat? I beat the teams on my schedule.
If you look, if you're down the road and you're looking at teams, at the end of the year, it's different. But you really can't say, especially 4 games in, who have you beat? Everybody got 4 games on their schedule to start the season, and guess what? We won 3 of them. The other teams didn't. Yes, the quality of teams they played were better, but at the end of the day, it's how we play the game from here on out. Mike, we have to win these games that we have to win. Again, maybe win some of the games that you wouldn't expect us to win. We're going to get into that today. We're going to take a look at our schedule, remaining schedule compared to the Baltimore Ravens remaining schedule. We're going to get an idea. What's the chances the Steelers could finish this thing again? It's with 2/3 of a season left to go. We are in prime position. People might say, "Dude, there's still so much to go. It's still so early in the season." But you know what? At this point in the season, we are a half game out of the number 1 spot in the AFC. At this point in the season, we do have a nice cushion. And if we play things right, Mike, we could end out on top. And that Baltimore Raven game that comes in the last week of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers might have a lot more meaning than what people think it's going to be. Again, Mike, at this point, listen, I was just reading this article before I came on. They said there's a really good chance. There's a really good chance that in 2 weeks from now, we could be 5-1 and everybody else in our division could be 2-5. And you know what? I'm here for it.
Me
And
too.
if that ends out happening, great. And again, if it ends out happening, we're putting ourselves in the position now. If we get down the stretch, Mike, and we do take an L, say we do run into that trap game down the stretch, we're going to be in position to be able to rebound to where, again, some teams that are struggling, some teams that have 2 wins right now, you then can't afford to have those trip up games down the road. Then you're depending on other people to lose. And as I always say, Mike, you want to avoid that situation at all costs. If that's what it's going to take to get in the playoffs, that's going to be what it's going to take to get in the playoffs. But if you can control your own destiny, you don't have to be that team. We've been that team too many times. We've missed the playoffs too many times, waiting on an Indianapolis to beat Jacksonville or Jacksonville to beat, So again, I think we're in prime place, and I don't think John's wrong. To be realistic and look at the situation, because obviously, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, if we're hoping for the best and we continue to get better, we continue to look better, we continue to improve, the defense continues to turn into the defense that we hoped they would as we get healthy, and the offense can continue to start to put a little continuity together during the course of a game. Have you want to get in that rhythm, you want to get in a pattern, opposed to getting a touchdown in the first quarter and then getting a touchdown again in the fourth. So if those things do continue to improve and move in the right direction, the young line, they continue to gel, obviously is a big part of this whole thing. And again, once the defense gets back up to where they were, but these are all improvements that you were seeing up until this point. You were seeing the defense get better from week 1 to week 4. You were seeing the offensive line gel from week 1 to week 4. So, as we move forward, Mike, if those things continue, and in theory, on a bye week, those things should continue. You should be working and building on what it is that you had, unless you just totally put your work down at the end of the day on Friday and say, I'm not going to pick it up until Monday when I walk into work. Something should be done, Mike, in this period of time of these 2 weeks for the Steelers to make themselves a little bit better. And again, they're playing against a very familiar Cleveland Browns team, Mike, who knows a lot about us, and they got players that know a lot about us, and guys that played on this team before. So very, very big game, Mike. Again, we'll get into what the rest of the schedules look like for both us and Baltimore for the rest of the way, which I already got into it a little bit before as I was taking down the schedules. And you know what? I was thinking you were wrong yesterday when you said I'm still sticking with my 11-ish games won for the year. As I looked down through this, I thought, you know what? 11 games does not sound way off. At 3-1, you're hoping maybe, 13, 12, 13, 14 wins. But as I went down this schedule, Mike, for what it appears that we are, we could. It looks like we're probably going to finish with around 11 wins. Again, it's hard to say. That's why they play the game. We're going to talk about it. But a lot we're going to get into today, Mike. But before we do that, let's just say a couple things. The Lions, Mike, we were saying about the Lions, how they kind of they didn't look like the same team early. Mike, they are already the highest scoring team in the NFL after 5 weeks. So the Lions are back. And I have to include them in my NFC teams as I'm talking about teams that could possibly end up in a Super Bowl this year. I left them out kind of early because they look kind of they look flat. Mike, already they score more points than anybody else in this league. The Eagles, of course, over in the NFC, the other team that I think is going to probably make a run in the playoffs. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday on the show, but I've heard people saying that they're catching up. They're going to catch up to the Steelers the way that they're winning Super Bowls in Philadelphia. My argument is this. They just got their second one. We got our second one in 1975, which was 50 years ago.
Yeah, they got a ways to go.
You're almost there, Philly. Keep it up. You're almost there.
You have yet to win back-to-back.
Yeah.
Once you start get 2 back-to-backs, and then you'll eventually get caught up to us. It's going to be a while, especially if your 2 wide receivers, quarterback, and running back have to have a sit-down conversation for like 4 hours to get all onto the same page. That's never a good sign. I'm no expert. I'm not in a locker room, but I know if I'm at work and my bosses and I have to have a sit-down conversation for 4 hours to get on the same page, I know shit ain't going well.
And you know one thing I keep doing? I keep going over to the standings page. I don't know how many times I clicked on the standings page in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
But I just have to go and look at the standing because there it is. There's the Steeler logo just floating like an angel on top of the standings. And I just have to see it. I don't know. There's just something about seeing that. And I do it every day, probably about 30 times. I just have to go look just in case anything changed,
I just look at the point differential, man. It's a thing of beauty.
Some other things might going on around the league before we get entirely into our Steelers is this. Some injuries. When we do, let me take a look, see what we got here. The kicker for the Colts, he had a season-ending injury, only because this does apply to us because we do play the Colts here in a few weeks. Their kicker did have a season-ending injury. Spencer Schrader is out for the season. And also, Mike, also another thing that may affect us a little bit down the road here as we play the Chargers, Amari and Hampton placed on the ER.
Yeah.
Both top running backs in Los Angeles on the Chargers are out. So, there you go. We wondered what went down with the Chargers the other day. It was a little bit of Jay Daniels and a little bit of injuries for the Chargers. They still are at the top of the division, and the Chiefs lose again, Mike.
Yeah.
So again, it's an odd year. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where the chips are going to fall. But anyway, you slice it. We're smack dab in the middle. Listen, I would rather be right where we're at with what's going on, opposed to being where the Ravens are at right now with what's going on. They know they have an uphill battle. That pressure's on you. We have a different pressure. Let's try this pressure for a while. I want to be the pressure. I want to be pressured from the top, opposed to being that other team, and that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So if we can continue again, Cleveland is one of the biggest games to this point this year. I always say it every week, that week of the game. Like, this is the biggest game of the year, and if you don't look at it that way, I don't know if you're in the right business. But the Steelers, they win this, Mike, again. They come home, or they go on the road to play the Bengals, who I'm hearing names now, Mike. I'm hearing some names floating around in Cincinnati. I'm hearing, of course, Russell Wilson was an early name that we heard as a possibility for Cincinnati. But what's the other guy there? Kurt.
Jameis Winston?
Not Jameis. Well, I heard that name too. Kurt, Cousins. I seen his name pop up. Kirk Cousins. So, whatever Cincinnati decides to do, maybe hopefully they wait till after we play them.
Yeah.
But even if, let's say next week that Kirk Cousins does come here, he still has to get prepared with the playbook and everything like that. So I doubt he would be ready to play. We're going to get Browning.
We're going to get Browning. Yeah, I was talking to a buddy at work about this. Like, if you're the Bengals, he asked that too. Like, are you going to get someone? Or are you tanking? I'm like, I'm tanking at this point. The owners, the Brown family, they're cheap anyway, so they're not going to pay a rental quarterback. Go in there, tank with Browning, and maybe I don't know, build an offensive line this draft or a defense this draft. That's what a smart organization would do. I'm spending all this money on my wide receiver and quarterback who's always fucking hurt. Might want to get an O-line for him.
And finally, another team that I just want to talk about briefly before we move on, just because it is somebody we play, the hated Ravens. Mike, the hated Ravens are currently number 3 on the draft board. If the season would end today, it would be the Jets, the Browns, and then the Ravens. Yes, they would get a good pick, but boy, is this fun. Is this fun or is this fun?
It's fun. I see. I don't want the Ravens to pick that high because I do like their front office. Even after obviously Newsom retired or whatever, their front office is still pretty good, damn good front office. So I don't want them picking that high. I want the Browns picking there because I know they're going to fuck it up.
That's the point of what I'm saying. They're not going to. They're going to win more football games. But the fun part is the Ravens sitting in the number 3 draft spot at this moment is delightful. Again, as I said, Mike, as our logo hovers like an angel. Right above, right at the top of the standings, you got these jackasses sitting in with the 3rd pick right now. It couldn't be better for Steeler fans, I got to tell you. And here's one more interesting nugget about this Baltimore team. Say what you want. I keep defending them. They're making it harder every week. But, Mike, this is a fact. The Ravens have let up 177 points through 5 weeks. That 2000 Ravens team, Mike, they let up 165 points all year long. So if anybody's saying, you know what, the Ravens, they find a way, they're always good, which I continue to say, and I still believe this, Mike, 177 points after 5 weeks. 2000, they gave up 165 all season long.
That defense was otherworldly. And like, I'm surprised about this defense. I just looking at their roster, they got good players at every level of that defense.
I know they do.
That's just the funny. They let go of their D coordinator too. They changed D coordinators, and they are not happy down there. The Baltimorean fans are not happy. They're ready to, like I said, run out the head coach and the DC on rails, chase them out of towns. It's I'm loving it, man. I am loving it. 177 points given up, and like the Browns defense, which is a good defense, they've given up 123.
Yeah,
which is shocking because I thought they were, better than that on the points against. But cumulatively, but I think on a per game average is still pretty good.
So there you go, guys. That is a little bit of scoop outside of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but are things that are going to affect us eventually. These Steelers, guys, nobody has fewer losses. Or nobody has more losses, or whatever. How would it be? Fewer than the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. Again, we are sitting in prime position. Again, only a third of the way through the season, but I don't care.
Like we control our own destiny from here on out.
And the Ravens, again, are just screwing themselves over and over. I mean, there would be nothing bigger for the Steelers to beat the Browns this week and the Ravens to go down to the Rams. I don't give two shits about the Ohio teams. I really don't. If Cincinnati wins this week or Cleveland wins next week, listen, they're no good.
No.
And it's not going to matter. It's them Ravens. We got to win. We got to make sure they keep losing. And again, while they're not healthy, it's beneficial to make sure we gain all the ground we can and create that separation. Because again, once they get their starters back, once they get Lamar back, I do believe they're going to find ways to win. Yes, they're calling for Harbaugh's head, which again I think is hilarious. And I couldn't enjoy this enough. But at the end of the day, they are the Ravens. And again, Mike, they're going to win football games and they're going to ruin things for people if they're not in a position to win Super Bowls, as the Pittsburgh Steelers generally do. Again, they built their franchise like us, and there's no reason that doesn't make me when the Steelers are down and out, you don't really think that they're not going to win any more games. They're going to find ways to win games. They're going to find ways to upset you. They're going to find ways to win scrappy, dirty, ugly games. And I think that Baltimore falls in that category too. So again, this team is going to be dangerous no matter how their season falls. I think it's going to get better. Most people think that they're out, they're done. I just think it's way too early to make that call. I've seen this too many times in my life to say that somebody's out after 4 weeks, 5 weeks of football. So very excited about the way things are looking at this point, Mike. And again, we just got to win. We just got to win. And again, hopefully Baltimore continues to lose. Just like I said, let's take 1 week at a time. Let's focus on Cleveland and let them play the Rams. And if they could lose one more, just lose one more for us, I'll be thrilled. I do want to say good morning to everybody. I do want to say thank you. Thank you so much to Vegas. You are the man for beer money. We appreciate that, sir. Greatly appreciated, man.
Vegas. Appreciate it, brother.
Let me get back to the board, Mike. Enough about the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see what some people got to say. I'm very interested, Mike, because again, this, in my opinion, is the biggest game of the year to this point, and I know that everybody's excited and they can't wait. And you know what? As I said, Mike, after this game wraps up on Sunday, we're going to be getting ready for a Thursday game. So a lot of Steelers getting ready to go down. I know everybody's excited. Let's get to the board and see what people are saying.
Do it.
I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go all the way back here. Cody says, boo those signings. Boo. Vegas says, TJ, who's your mama? I like that. Tortilla says, we'd sign Burks just to tell him he isn't allowed on the moving train. You know what? That's a good point. Vegas makes a good point. Mike, where is your headband?
There's a story that involves a lot lizard. So just leave it at that, boys.
Vegas says, your head looks ready for some serious headbutting.
No, I got a little ingrown hair at the base of my neck, and it's itching against it. And I don't want to sit there here the whole show going like that.
I hope nobody's eating. Come on.
Hey, they wanted it. Hey, you yell at me if I talk about lot lizards. You yell at me about this.
Well, I was planning on eating lunch today, but
it's a little extra man.
Tortilla says Burks is black, but would still go in the unathletic whites. I think we found our running back though yesterday, Mike. I think yesterday when we were talking about McCaffrey, he's definitely Team White's running back.
Oh yeah, he's Team White's running back.
Don't tell me about no Mike Allstott. Don't tell me about no Peyton Hillis.
No, we got CMC.
We're taking CMC.
It's at wide receivers where it gets iffy. Can we claim Puka Nacua?
And you know what? The cornerback position is going to be rough too, but we'll figure it out.
We got Cooper DeJean.
Jen says, hi, all. Miss you still training the new person. I listen. Oh, that's awesome.
Hi, Jen. Bye, Jen.
That's all right, Jen. Do your thing, man. What are you going to do? Tortilla says, Cleveland will go through 100 more quarterbacks before Philly gets 6, and we'll be at 16 Super Bowls.
I like the way you think, Tortilla.
I like the way this next question. What would you give away for AJ Brown right now? I'd give away quite a lot because I know the production you'd get from AJ Brown. But again, Mike, you'd be bringing headaches back into the locker room. What would you give away realistically for AJ Brown at this point? I mean, you would answer a lot of questions. You would fix some problems, and hopefully create some big plays and big numbers. At this point, what would you be willing to give away? Again, you're bringing in a personality that's probably going to be some issues down the road. This. The narrative was that's why we got rid of George Pickens. Yeah. Mike, what would you realistically give away for Mr. Brown right now?
I'm taking a look at his contract right now because I know he's signed through 2030, and the contracts, it's not that bad. 23, 22, 27, 29 million over the years of the contract. I know a lot of people are going to say Alex Highsmith. I don't know if they would take Highsmith. It'd be more or less be a contract for contract trade, but I don't know if he feels a need and feels a position the way they're going to want to use him in their defense. Other people are going to say Roman Wilson. So, but are they going to want him? Or are they going to like what they saw out of him, in college to feel like, okay, is there something there that Pittsburgh's not finding? So for me, I would say a third, because that's what we got for George Pickens. That seems to be going right for wide receivers, but all those guys are on the end of their contract. He still has time left. It might take a second round pick to pry him away. And if that's, he's going to be here a few years and you can figure out the cap space with his contract and all the other moves you need to make going forward to still stay competitive after this season I would do it if everything could work out contract wise. I part ways with that second round pick, because if you're going in to win a Super Bowl or make a run this year, next year, might as well do it.
I also do want to throw this out there, guys. This is a notable thing that's to be mentioned today. Allen Lazard did not travel, or is not going to travel with the Jets to London, as his 0-5 team, Mike, they make the trek to London this weekend for an early Sunday game again here in the States. One thing that I do know is Allen Lazard, for unknown reasons, is not traveling with the team. Do what you want with that. I know nothing more than that, but the fact of the matter is that is what I know. And the fact of the matter is this is somebody that's been lobbied for by Aaron Rodgers already. So again, may not be anything, but something to keep in the back of your mind. Allen Lazard not making the trip to London with the 0-5 Jets for this weekend's game overseas. So again, do what you want. I heard nothing beyond that, but that's where we're at right now, Mike. So
in 12 games last year, he did catch 6 touchdowns for 530 yards.
Compared to what our secondary receivers are doing at this point, I'll take it. I mean,
I would too. I don't think he would cost too much. 6th round pick, 7th round pick.
Tortilla saying a 2027 second. Vegas is 4 shutouts. 4 shutouts for that Ravens team. It was again 165 points, or all they gave up all year. That 2000 Ravens team, and they've already given up 177 this year in just 5 games. Mark Malone, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Mark Malone on the board. Mark Malone says we're on our way to 14-3 in a home playoff game. I wish I had the paint that he has sometimes. The optimism that comes from Mark Malone it feels good. It really does. I really wished I thought this, but as I said, we're going to get into the schedules. And we're going to compare and contrast what the Steelers' remaining schedule against what Baltimore's remaining schedule looks like today on the show, and we're going to get an idea. Again, Mike, I think we might get a little bit less than I thought we were going to get prior to looking at these schedules. But again, nonetheless, we will get into that here shortly. Continuing on the board, Corey says at Vegas, I give up Roman Wilson in the 3rd round for Brown. And here's the thing: if you're not going to do anything with Roman Wilson, you might as well package him up somewhere. I don't know what the deal is. Yeah. It seems like Aaron just has guys he likes to throw to, because Roman, in small pieces, has been out in the field, and also Pat Freiermuth in small doses has been on the field. And if you like somebody and you're looking for somebody, you find them people, and these guys just aren't getting their they're not getting their targets, Mike. So again, I'm just wondering, you have to look at things that way. Is Roman Wilson going to be anything that's going to have any value through this season for us? Again, last year out all year with injury. This season, if it's he doesn't if he's not producing for whatever reason, we don't even know what the reason is. You might have to start looking at things like this, saying this is who we're keeping around. Why not throw him in a package and maybe try to bring in AJ Brown, or again somebody that's worth our while to play wide receiver?
Yeah, because how coaches are around in sports. Like, oh, I can get something out of this guy. Just got to hope Philly's coaches would think that about Roman Wilson.
Well, they seem to be developing players fine in Philadelphia. Matter of fact, all their young players, they start and they are productive and they win Super Bowls, and the Jeans and the Jalen, what's his name, Carter, they get these rookies, and these guys are already impact players. So I think that Philadelphia would probably be able to develop him.
I don't know. We'll see.
Mr. Steeler fan, welcome to the show. I do want to say great to see you, Mr. Steeler fan. Mr. Steeler fan says, I don't want A.J. Brown. I would rather have Calvin Ridley. He would come cheaper, and we would not have to give up so much capital. Calvin Ridley, Mike?
He's down in Tennessee. He's the guy who was suspended for the year for gambling. His contract, I don't think it's that bad. He's signed through 2028. $26 million for him. He's down there in that shit team.
That team won a game. You watch what you're saying.
They haven't won a game. Yeah, they did win a game. The game was a gift to them. Like, I'd take him. I don't like his contract, but I think you are right, Steeler fan. You can get him probably cheap. Part of the reason why is that contract is fucking bloated for the production you're getting out of him. But, if
he did say, Mike, he did follow up with this information. He says Mr. Calvin Ridley can still play and is familiar with the current offense under Arthur Smith.
He is. I'm not opposed to Calvin Ridley. I think he's a good player. But at that price tag, that's what scares me. If there's a way you can figure something out and get out of it or some shit, I'd go ahead and do it.
Vegas says I wouldn't be mad at any of these suggestions as long as I have a receiver, which only makes sense, I think. Mr. Steeler fan would also says this. He says AJ would come at a higher price and cost, and that's what I'm at that point, Mike, where I'm still all in. I'm all in. I feel that you came this far. You went and you brought in Jalen Ramsey and guys like Jonnu Smith and Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalfs and guys like this. Again, I'm a firm believer. Don't go halfway when you're going all in, because then you're wasting everybody's time. And you could certainly be doing other things to make the situation better. But Mike, I'm not afraid of going all in still. And AJ Brown is fine with me. I know he's probably going to give us problems in the locker room in the future. I know that he's going to cost a lot of money. But, for me as a fan, seeing what this guy could do on the field, what he did to us personally last time we played them, I would love to have a guy like this, Mike, on our team. And if you would have him opposite side DK Metcalf, it would be comparable to that George Pickens and DK Metcalf duo that we have.
By far, easy. My only issue is, like, if he's not getting the ball the way he wants, we're seeing what he's doing in Philly when they're winning. What's he going to do in Pittsburgh?
By all means, get the guy a ball. He's a superstar.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers would find a way to get him the ball.
And on what planet do you not give AJ Brown the football?
I don't know, but he did have two. Like, when he was wide open for a touchdown, he throttled down because he thought the ball wasn't going to be thrown to him, and it was. And then he's blaming the quarterback. He's blaming the quarterback for a bad throw. So, like, do you want that personality? Or here, if he's getting the ball from Aaron Rodgers, you know how wide receivers are. They're getting the ball, they're going to be happy, no matter what's going on.
Vegas says they put Hillis on the Madden cover after 1 year, and that's when the end of his career. That
was too.
They did have Peyton Hillis on there.
One and done.
It was so weird to see Brown on the cover of Madden.
It was weird to see a white running back on the cover of Madden. It didn't sit right with me.
Vegas says I really don't care who we get, just someone that will draw attention of the D, but not another little wide receiver. We have enough of those. We do. We have our 2.5 men. We talk about all the time. Our 2.5 unexciting whites, we call them. Tortilla says I'll be fine with Ridley, but if I had a choice, I'd go AJ. He costs more, but he's younger and better. Absolutely. I love what I see out of AJ Brown. If he gives up a play here, think of everything we went through over the years with the Deontay's and just the issues we had. But again, it took us a while to cut those cancers out too. So I guess be careful what you wish for, right?
Exactly.
Let's see. Corey says Philly has been Philly has the team to develop Roman. Pitt clearly doesn't.
Outside of Devontae Smith, Philly hasn't developed a receiver. They traded for AJ Brown when he was
But
already
they generally
good.
develop again. Like all these players they bring in are all successful, and they develop just fine in Philadelphia. To where we are kind of sitting on these guys' heads, not letting them. I don't know. It's odd. It's
Jahan Dodson, John Mechie, ever since they've come to Philly, haven't lived up to their potential
Jalen
either.
Carter,
So,
Cooper
yes, those
DeJean,
players, yes, but I'm talking about
Devontae Smith. I
talking
mean,
about the wide
the
receivers
guys that are winning
in
Super
specific.
Bowls. I'm talking
I'm talking
about
about
here.
the wide receivers in
Well, obviously,
specifically,
we're not
because that's
talking
what
about
Ruben
those
Wilson
guys. We're
is.
talking about the guys that are
Well,
developing well.
I'm talking about but it was specifically about Roman Wilson.
Okay, well, I'm talking outside of that. You're
Well,
that's
yeah,
fine.
but I'm addressing Corey's
And I'm
comment.
addressing it overall, which is fine. Continue to address. I'm
Yeah.
not stopping. I'm just telling you what's
Yeah,
going
but
on.
I'm saying like
Because you seem to
they've
be-
shown like that's one of their blind spots is developing a receiver, so they have to go out and get the guys that are already there ready to go. So I don't know if they would want Roman because he would slot into that mess of John Mechie, Jahan Dodson, who haven't reached the potential outside of Philly or
Have you
in
needed
Philly.
them guys yet? You have Devontae Smith and you have AJ Brown. I mean, those guys can
One of
take
those
longer
guys
to
goes
develop.
down, and you need that third option.
Which
at the
obviously
receiver.
that's any
Of
team.
course,
I
their
mean,
third option at receiver is Saquon Barkley or whoever their tight end is, but you would like to have those guys develop in that offense. But that offense is really predicated on Jalen Hurts running the ball and Saquon running the ball.
And I think the fact that you don't need to develop those guys quick is part of it too. If you needed to develop them quicker, but if you're behind Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, I'm not so worried about getting them up to speed quick myself. But we will see. Corey says AJ is seasoned to jump right in, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, you're getting you're getting Jalen Ramsey. You're getting somebody who's going to give you top quality production. And can they be a bit of a wild card? Absolutely. Absolutely. Vegas says Aaron is going to give Allen a free trip to his cave. Corey says it doesn't matter who we bring in, even if we do it today, because they won't be up to speed to play against Cleveland, but we will need whoever we get for the short week in Cincy. This, guys, is also something that I did find out talking about injuries and guys coming back. Jerry Dulac did say this in Pittsburgh, Mike. He did say he compared Jalen Ramsey's injury to Joey Porter Jr.'s injury, calling it a pretty good tear is what he called it. This is, Mike, it's a hamstring strain, which is usually it's usually described as a tear is what he has going on. It is what Joey Porter Jr. has been out since week 1 with. So use that as a kind of a scale to see where you think that Jalen Ramsey will be returning. But this is what Jerry Dulac reported as of yesterday, compares Jalen Ramsey's injury to Joey Porter's, calling it a pretty good hamstring tear. So again,
about
Mike,
4 weeks.
About 4 weeks, give or take.
But it just coming out of the Tomlin press conference, he's excited about the rehab, the way Calvin Austin III and Jalen Ramsey are attacking rehab, and it says they're going to be limited in participation, but can see that participation growing throughout the week with the potential of playing. So, which is it? Does Jalen Ramsey have some X-Men Wolverine style healing factor going on there, or is it just Tomlin trying to talk one of his guys up to maybe keep the other keep Cleveland on their toes of like, oh shit, they might get Jalen Ramsey back.
We do know that the other guys have been that we did announce yesterday that are expected to play. They are participants at practice, Mike. They were available and they are going to be practicing throughout the week, so we could expect to see those gentlemen this weekend as well. So again, as far as getting healthy goes, we this of course Calvin Austin are talking about, is he going to go IR, is he not? We know that the test results were negative, so again, keep that in mind. And then also with this Jalen Ramsey, Mike, with these hamstrings, again, you've seen hamstrings certainly a lot in my life through football early in the season, a lot of time cramping, things like that, but these hamstring tears with these players nowadays, I've never seen in my life. All of a sudden, you get a hammy, you're out a month. It's we're, again, as I usually say on the show, you usually get in there and rub the hamstring out, and the guys get back out on the field. It's been a whole different injury as of the last 3 to 5 years. I've never seen the hamstring injury be this serious in my life.
It's insane how how long guys are out now. Maybe I think like we said before, man, they're just teams are protecting their investments more than they used to.
Yeah. I mean, these are tears. It's a tear. I mean, that can't be good. So Corey also, let me see on that. He finishes it up by saying, but we will need whoever we need for the short week in Cincinnati. Vegas says the new wide receiver can always run the Bum Phillips special, the old Bomberooski. Tortilla says if Roman wasn't a day 2 pick, he'd already be cut. I do want to jump here real quick to the next one. I do want to say what's up to RB. What's up, RB? Always great seeing you, man. RB says the Ravens front office is no longer good. The defense is awful. They signed Smith, but then drafted a bunch of big, slow guys up front and very undersized guys to play behind them. It's a bad mix. Goes on to say Ridley has a bad case of the dropsies. So there's a little bit about what we were talking about, Mike. A few things there. The Ravens front office and Ridley. RB saying, let's see. Tortilla says at RB, exactly. In my opinion, Ridley won't mesh with the Rodgers. Not their personalities, but I can see them not being on the same page on where to be and when to be there. Field of Steel, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Field of Steel on the board. Field of Steel says, what's up? No way. Watt fan is here. What's up, Watt fans? Follows it up by saying, wait, what the fuck? Now I'm confused. I don't see Vanilla Thunder.
I got a little issue with the hair.
Don't go on with this again.
I'm not allowed to talk about any of the reasons why it's off.
Please.
Steel.
By
Just
all
know it's
means.
Vanilla Thunder here.
Mark Malone says you can't talk trash on Skoranek. That ain't right.
Good special teams player.
The guy literally has done nothing as far as offensive production yet. I mean, unless they're just saying, well, this guy has a lot, he's really good. We believe in him, but we're just not going to let him play and do anything. So again, that, it has to make me wonder of all the things, everything that we've seen in the first 4 weeks. We haven't seen him. Yes, he is special teams, but you know what? So is little Connor Hayward, Meatwad, if you will, Mike. He's having a good year on special teams as well. So do what you want with that.
Ben Skoranek, 1 catch, 22 yards, and a touchdown.
There you go. Yes,
but
that's right. Damn
here good special teams play.
At the halftime point, Mike. Go ahead.
I said damn good special teams play then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Still, he did say at Ryan, he did say at Richard, he says losers, and that is true. I can't take offense to that because that's right. At the halftime point today, I am going to give the results for this week's CBS picks. And again, don't forget, guys, get in and get your CBS pick'ems in this week for the games for week 6 because the games do start Thursday night and you don't want to miss out. And if you haven't had a chance, Mike will put the link up in the on the board. And if you want to sign up, it takes about 30 seconds. And again, it costs nothing. Get in and make your weekly picks. This is my worst week yet. As a matter of fact, it was everybody's worst week yet. Yeah. And we will again get to those results here shortly. Corey Beaver says, I just meant overall talent for Philly, but I get your point, Mike. Outside of their top 2, they have
I get where you guys
no fill-ins at wide receiver. They barely have a wide receiver 3. What's up, Jamal? Jamal says, what's up, my brothers? Always great seeing Jamal on the board. Tortilla, he says, what if we trade Wilson for Dotson and a late round pick swap? Dotson is on a contract year, so it would come at a risk, but it's something instead of getting nothing from or for Wilson.
I liked Jahan Dotson when he was at Penn State. In the pros, I've only seen him make a handful of plays that go, oh yeah, that would be a guy I'd like to have on my team. So I'm torn when it comes to Jahan. I like him as a slot receiver. I think that's where he dominated at Penn State, if I remember correctly. I just don't see him as that second guy outside of DK Metcalf.
Let's see. Phil Steele says, wait, so ISS that Vanilla Thunder or Watt fan, please clear it for me. Oh, I see. Mike, all right, tell him why you can't wear it.
Okay.
I hope you already ate is all I'm gonna say.
I have ingrown hair in the back of my neck, and the Vanilla Thunder hair gets in there, brother. Impacts it even more, and the pus wad goes shooting out against the wall back there, sprays the dummy on his face like he's shooting a porno. No one wants to see that right now.
Again, like I said, I hope you ate, Phil. Any important Browns injury? Might pull up the injury list on the Browns. I didn't pull it up yet, but I don't think there's anybody of any significance. Again, the teammates, Dylan Gabriel and his teammate Derek Harmon, will be looking at each other eye to eye as the Steelers line up against the Browns. Mike, Dylan Gabriel, as far as I know, is going to be starting under center for the Browns. And again, him and our rookie Derek Harmon, just teammates last year. Mike, how does that injury report look?
I'm pulling it up now. There's a couple different ones. I'm trying to get something going on here. So for week, oh my God, Peter's running slow here. Week 6, they have nothing listed for this week so far. I'm looking like Michael Hall. He's questionable. David Bell and Winston Reed look on there as well.
So no Graham, no Myles Garrett, no Bush, nobody that's going to ring a bell for us here. Nobody of any importance.
No. Outside of it looked like wide receiver David Bell might be out for week 6 against the Steelers.
All right, guys. Also, Mark Malone on the board is saying tall cornerbacks can never stay on the field. You know what? It seems that you're right so far. I like the range. I like the length of these guys. They have nice wingspan, but it seems like they're hurt a lot. But we will see as Corey Trice is getting healthy and also getting Joey Porter Jr. back. We will be getting some of our rangy cornerbacks certainly into this weekend. Mark Malone says they never have, never will. Tortilla says DK Sports said that Calvin Austin III's injury may be worse than we originally thought, even though the x-rays came back negative. He could still go on IR. I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. And that's kind of what I've been reading too. I didn't really want to get into it because I don't know for sure yet. But, Mike, we might be forced to make some kind of move. But I do want to say this. I just want to say that it is noted that Alan Lazard, for whatever reason, did not and is not planning to make the trip to London this weekend with his 0-5 teammates at the Jets, Mike, as they go to play in Europe this weekend. Alan Lazard, former teammate of Aaron Rodgers, again, one who Rodgers has lobbied for, is not making the trip across the pond, Mike.
Yeah, maybe a small draft pick to get him. Trying to think, Bobby Trees, Robert Woods is still available. He's a free agent. I could see the Steelers doing something like that. He's cheap and was here and sitting.
Maybe he could do maybe he could do the same nothing he did when he was there last time, or the other guys that were here that was in his position.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I want a guy that's going to do something. Give me a Lazard. Give me something. We need something, especially if Calvin Austin III goes on IR.
Yeah.
What's up, Kenneth? Always great seeing you on the board, brother.
Kenneth.
My man. Mark Malone says, I thought Skoranek caught a touchdown.
He did. One catch,
was that
22
Skoranek
yards.
Or was that Miller?
That was Skoranek. That was the first touchdown of the season.
Oh, yeah. Vegas says Aaron missed him for another touchdown, too. Jamal, I agree. He says Skoranek is hot garbage. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm not seeing what it is that Mike sees. He loves him.
I like him on special teams. I love him on special teams.
Yeah. I think what we need to be worrying about.
He makes special teams plays. He forces turnovers. He recovers the ball. He's Johnny on the spot.
You know what? Everybody's going to be fine on special teams. Listen, when was the last time that? This is what you have. You have NFL players that aren't good enough to play in the prime positions. That's why you put them on special teams.
Yeah, and then that's Ben Skoranek. He's a number 5 wide receiver.
That's what we don't need. We don't need number 5 wide receiver.
Yeah, we can get rid of Scotty Miller and get someone better than and keep.
By all means.
Go. Yeah.
Vegas says he did. He had the first touchdown of the year. Mark Malone says, yeah, he did. He could be a real red zone weapon, or we could use somebody that's 6'8" as a red zone weapon. Mark, but point definitely taken on that. As you do see, Mike does have the link up. Sign up, guys, again, under 30 seconds, and it's 100% free. Make the picks every week and see where we compare. Mike, I got to be honest with you, nobody did good this week. RB the top. And again, I think with the way games went, I think he only had 7 games picked correctly. So it kind of gives you an idea. Corey says, what's up, Jamal? I just wanted to say, keep up the good work on your show. Absolutely, man. It is good shit. Tortilla says, the skullet growing upside down. Skullet is growing upside down. I don't know. It's the way they see it, Mike. I can't say nothing against it. Let's see.
Haters.
Jamal says, Corey, I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Keep it up. Keep up the hard work, man. Cody says, that wasn't your real hair. Right?
It's hard to believe, brother. Hard to believe.
RB says Smith's system only uses one split end wide receiver and a slot or two slots on three wide. But yeah, Dotson can't catch. He's a Dollar Tree Deontay Johnson. Yeah, we don't want a Dollar Tree Deontay Johnson. Tortilla says, I'll take a Dollar Tree Johnson over a Roman ghost. Vegas says, I'll give them 5 Roethlisberger sandwiches for Lazar. Trade Muth for AJ Brown or Crystal. You know what? Throw Muth, throw Highsmith, and I'd throw a Roman Wilson in there. That might be somewhat appealing.
We're going to give them all of our bad players for all your good players.
Here's the thing. None of those players are bad.
I know. That's true. Like they're solid.
If you're a smart team, yeah. I mean, if you're a smart organization, you could make that work. Tortilla says trade for Kamara and make him wide receiver too. Mark Malone, Calvin Austin III must have a pretty bad shoulder separation. Yeah, and as you know, they're saying on the board earlier, if they said on DK, he said that maybe worse than what it was. I'm kind of getting that impression too, Mike. And they did say early that it was a negative result on the X-rays, but that kind of seems to be what I'm getting back as well, that it might be not as good. And again, some of the comments that are said just on some of the media that I catch online, it seems like that wide receiver talk is coming up again, and that would make sense if Calvin Austin's injury is worse than we think. Ed Reed played special teams. You know who's a special teamer? Carson Bruner. He's a special teamer because he's never going to be a starter, at least not anytime soon. You know, he's a great special teamer. Miles, who's our
Miles Killebrew?
Come on, these guys are career special teamers.
So's Ben Skoranek.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't like Ben Skoranek as a wide receiver. I love him as a special teamer.
And that's the thing. I know we don't need that. We don't care. We need a receiver.
You can cut Scotty Miller when we get our receiver,
and that's fine too. Listen. I'm saying we don't have anything. We need something. Mark Malone says, remember his first 2 plays last year, forcing 2 fumbles. They won us games. Ironic, he's saying. Cody says, Dirtbag got a nice little penalty this weekend when he flopped. That's true. He did get that penalty call for him.
He's that guy. You need that guy. He's a pest when he's out there. He's a pest against the other team to do stupid shit. Yeah, he has usage, but not as a receiver.
Corey says, I agree that with the special teams tape, but Miles Killebrew is the most valuable special teams player we have. Named not Boz. Cody says Aaron Rodgers blocks better than Pat Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. So far, it seems like it. Jamal says Omar Khan did reach out to New Orleans for Olave. That's interesting, man. Did you hear anything more on that, Jamal? And RB says that's the problem. Mike Tomlin keeps 3 times the amount of special teamers, only players than anyone else. As special teams are being faded out by the league. That's what I'm saying. Guys,
I disagree with that. There, I see watch around the league. You see guys on roster that they're just special teamers. Is what they are. They're special teamers.
Well, of course, you're going to have special teamers.
Yeah, there's guys still at the tail end of your roster.
Good morning, Richard. Good afternoon here on the East Coast. Richard, he says, yes, it was a rough week for picks. I'm about to get into that in just a couple minutes.
Terrible.
We're going to go through the results, guys. Again, do sign up. Mike has, and if you can't, if you're losing it on the board, you can just go right outside of where you're at now. And on the main YouTube page of ours, you can hit the link right there as well. It says CBS Picks, I do believe. Just click on that. 30 seconds. It costs nothing. Get in for this week's picks. Again, Thursday, right around the corner, Mike, you have an NFC East game kicking off the week. So be sure to get in and make your picks. A lot of things to get into today, a lot of things to go over today, Mike, as we move forward. Let me ask you this. Is New England – okay, so after we beat New England a couple weeks ago, of course, everybody knows that they just beat Buffalo on Sunday night. Mike, New England now, they were soft when we beat them. But when they beat Buffalo, all of a sudden, New England's a strong team.
Yeah.
Try to make this make sense for any Steeler fan, because as a common sense, as just an average person, you might say, well, this team beat this team and we beat this team. Mike, is New England are they a good team to go by when you're trying to figure out where we stand against Buffalo? Certainly at this point in the season, we will get them down the road. We will find out firsthand where we stand against Buffalo. But at this point, how do you use New England as a barometer to kind of feel out where the Steelers are? Again, Mike, we're only a half game out of the number one seed in the AFC. If the playoffs started today, we're the 3 seed with a home game hosting Denver.
Yeah.
Just a half game out of number one. Give me an idea, with Buffalo being ahead of us and also Indianapolis for that matter, can we use New England to kind of get a feel of where the Steelers stand up against who a lot of people expect to be your AFC representative in the Super Bowl this year?
You can take a look at it a couple different ways. One, like did New England, a lot of people say they gifted the Steelers that win. But, we went in knowing, Stevenson, their running back, is a big-time fumbler. So we targeted that. We made the plays when needed to. We baited the young quarterback into mistakes.
He played in the game against the Bills that they beat him, right? I mean,
exactly, yeah. But now, can we turn around and use that similar game plan against Josh Allen? Can we use their offense is a completely different offense than the one that we run? They run more 3 wide receiver sets where we run 2 tight end sets with 2 wide receivers. So I don't think you can look at it that way, but copy their blueprint to beat Josh Allen the way they did. See if you can kind of keep him in check. And I think what they did too, if I remember correctly, is I think they took away the running game. They eliminated James Cook, their running back. I think they tried to limit him. Yeah, he only ran for 49 yards. So you more or less made them one-dimensional. You made Josh Allen the entire offense to where he had to do everything, all the running and all the passing. Maybe just that's what Pittsburgh has to do, is stack the box to eliminate the run and play that man coverage behind against them. It's looking like the way to beat Buffalo right now, based off of one game, is stop the run. And we're getting better at stopping the run. They're still not the best at it, but we're starting to trend in the right direction. So that right there, that's the first thing I'm looking at. Okay, what did they do? They stopped the run and forced Josh Allen, which is kind of silly. The reigning league MVP, let him beat you. Just make them one-dimensional. And it doesn't matter what team you're playing. If you make any team one-dimensional, it becomes easier for your defense. I think that's what Pittsburgh's going to have to do, is go force them to be one-dimensional. And looking at what New England's offense did, they really didn't do a whole lot outside of Stephon Diggs. Now, can we replicate that against their defense? Will we be able to get DK Metcalf to go off for like 140, 150 yards the way Stephon Diggs did? And that's going to be the issue. Right?
Mike, is it a concern to you that this team that we caused all these turnovers against? What was it, 5 turnovers that day?
5 turnovers.
Is it a concern to you that we only won this game 24-21?
At the time, yes, but now I'm seeing the offense got better against Minnesota. We still only scored like the same amount of points, but we were playing better, and the offense is getting better now from where they were. This was the game right after that atrocious Seattle game, and then that was the stepping stone in the right direction for the offense and the defense. So that doesn't concern me. The way we were able to exploit a weakness from a team and capitalize on it, I wish we'd have capitalized more on it, but no, that doesn't concern me at all. We were able to pinpoint a weakness, target that weakness, and exploit that weakness.
All right, let's jump back on the board here, see what's going on. Cody says, I've seen a clip of Carson Bruner, coach, saying he's known for special teams. Absolutely. Absolutely. You might not see Carson Bruner playing any defense for a long time in the league. Certainly not at any time soon. Tortilla says, "Come on, bro, we're evolving. We got a thumb playing tight end and fullback. A thumb." Corey Beaver says, "There's a reason why nobody returns kicks on us hardly ever. Even before the rule changed, we are always good on returns on the coverage team, at least." Corey also goes on to say, "Tortilla like those little fucking henchmen on Spy Kids." Tortilla says, "Josh Allen will tear through Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin's Madden scheme." And that's what I'm afraid of. But you know what I do like? I do like the fact that we are going to be facing the Colts. I do like the fact that we're going to be facing Green Bay. I do like the fact we're going to be facing the Chargers. I like the fact that we're going to face the Bills, because you know what? It's not going to leave much question at the end of the season. If you could weather this storm, once you get these 2 Ohio games out of the way, Mike, those 4 teams that I just mentioned, Baltimore twice. Again, you're going to get those other Ohio teams later in the season. I'm glad we're getting a good gauntlet of teams to play against because, again, if you get an easy schedule and you have a good record, you're going to turn into those early 2000 Steeler teams that were getting number one seeds in the playoffs and getting knocked out every year after their bye. I want to challenge. I want a gauntlet again. You're going to be battle tested. When January comes around, you start playing meaningful football. I want to play meaningful football throughout the season. And you know what? A lot of these teams, and again, like on the flip side of giving the results for the CBS pick, and we're going to compare the Steelers schedule that's remaining with the Ravens remaining schedule. So that is just coming up right around the corner, guys. We're going to get into that and see how the Steelers may or may not land at the end of the season. Again, Mike, week 18. The 17th game for the Steelers is against the Ravens, and I got to be honest with you. Yes, they are down. They seem out, but I don't think that Ravens game is going to be meaningless at the end of this football season.
No, well, no. There's going to be some sort of playoff seeding implication with that game. Wouldn't surprise me somehow. Baltimore rallies back, and we might stumble, lose like a one-possession game to a Buffalo or a one-possession game to Detroit, and next thing you know, Baltimore's won a shit ton of games, and now we got a seeding matchup with this game to where, they might not be able to win the AFC North, but they can drop us down from the 2 seed to the 3 seed or the 4 seed. So there's going to be something going on with that game. Always is.
Tortilla said a thumb is playing tight end. Didn't you used to call Derpy a thumb on the show?
Yeah. If you ever seen a picture of Derpy, he looks like a thumb.
Yeah. Very thumbish. Let's see. Corey says, I don't know about you guys, but this upset weekend validated every win we've had so far. You know what? Things, again, are the Pittsburgh Steelers are just as much in the middle of this as everybody else. Again, guys, nine teams across the league have one loss. Also, what else, Mike? We are the number 3 seed. If playoffs started today, we'd be hosting the Denver Broncos. We were just a half game out of the 1 seed. Say what you want. It's still early. Say what you want. You haven't played anybody. But you know what? It could be worse. We could be at this point, Mike, could be 2-3, and people could be saying, I told you so.
Exactly.
We told you the Ravens are going to win the division. You didn't think it'd be nothing. You don't have a quarterback. So you know what? All those things are kind of being dealt with now, especially, again, through this past weekend, as Corey said. So we'll take it. You know what? I can't complain. We can't complain. We got to kind of be optimistic, Mike, because, again, at the end of the day, this is what it is. And I'm happy, again, that we do play a good, tough schedule. I think that'll make us more battle tested again in January, instead of not, when a college team doesn't schedule anybody early and then they play somebody good and have a hard time. I cannot.
Hell yeah, brother.
Who this could have,
you could have just said Penn State, baby.
Let's say you're ranked and you play a team that has no wins. Maybe you're in the top 10 and that team manages to beat you, but we'll get to that later on in the day. Of course, has no correlation to what's going on.
Hey, I've entered the transfer portal. 35 years of fandom, I have entered the portal.
You know what? If I was right there, I'd give you the biggest high five ever, but I'm not, and I won't. So,
I don't need no stanky ass Pitt. I ain't going to Pitt.
That is, I know we don't want you at Pitt either.
Fair enough.
Stay the hell out of Pitt. Vegas says this: 5 forced turnovers versus the Patriots. They weren't out there dropping the ball like the Cards. Kenneth said Drake May did good, but maybe Josh had a mediocre game and Buffalo's defense sucks. And Drake May is tough. He's tough. You know what? And I'm glad to see a little bit of competition at the division.
Yeah.
When it was New England's division, they had no competition because at that time Buffalo stunk and the Jets always stink and the Dolphins stink. So for there to be a little bit of resistance in the AFC East, I like this a lot. Cody says Stevenson fumbled in that game too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he fumbled again against the Bills.
Yeah, he's having a rough season, man. I wouldn't be too thrilled if I was New England in that situation with him. Tortilla says we told Aaron he wouldn't have to be superhero this year, and in big games against top quarterbacks, we need Aaron to bail us out. You know what? I mean, a big part of this is the defense just starting to play like they are a top paid defense by tens of millions of dollars, like they are. Don't come out and be what you're worth. If they come out and play their worth, I mean, come on, we'll be dominating. At least what we pay them. Cody says, we beat New England. New England beats the Bills. Therefore, we beat the Bills. Easy math skills. Trust me, I went to community college. See, that's what I'm saying, man.
Exactly. And we got Corey here today. He can do the numerology.
That's right. And the Gematria and all these things.
Gematria.
Corey says, we're not stopping Cook. We just need to beat everyone else because the Bills feel like an automatic loss. That's what I'm saying. They just feel it's that game. But again, take you back to Ben's rookie year, where we get an undefeated New England and undefeated Philadelphia in back-to-back weeks, games 5 and 6, and we beat them both. Maybe if we're the real deal, we'll win it. We'll see. Tortilla says the 49ers beat the Hawks. The Hawks beat us. The 49ers are better than us. Jamal says, I think we can beat the Bills at Corey if New England did. That's what I'm saying. But one thing you got to think, too, Jamal, is their division. And as Cleveland beats us from time to time and Cincinnati beats us from time to time, I always say that, teams are different when you play them in the division. You know this team. You see them twice a year. You know them better than anybody. You beat them. You lost to them. So, again, I don't know if it's just a case of that, a little AFC a little turbulence for the Bills at this point, or if maybe that applies here. And I hope it does, because, again, that puts us right in the middle of things if that be the case. Vegas says Arthur is going to turn 6 offensive lineman formation into the new craze around the NFL. Let's see. Tortilla, exactly. Mark Malone says, I think we're going to see more Spence Anderson, Washington, and more Skoranek. I hope we do. I hope we do see two of the first gentleman that you named.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be looking good when we do have the extra size and the extra people on the line. Field of Steel says, why is there Bills talk? Poopers and Bungles are next. You're right, man. You're right. They're just kind of, they're down the road.
They're on the schedule. We got to beat them.
But you're right, Vegas. He says schedule's full of good teams. Somber, what's up, bro? Always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. Today's no different. Nice to see you, my friend. He says light practice for Ramsey and Calvin Austin early this week. Could ramp up as the week goes. That's hopeful. Again, I expect Ramsey to be out probably about a month.
Yeah, so that put him out. Two more games.
They called it a couple games, and that was prior to our week off. Yeah. Prior to this week coming up, and then we're going to miss a couple games. So again, with a tear in that hammy, they're saying it's comparable to JPJ. So again, I you know what, the sooner the better for me. I'm a fan. I want us to win. I want our guys out there. But if that's what you heard, I take your word. Mark Malone says should be 5-1 after these two. We should be 5-1 after these two. You know what? If we're going to do good things this year, we better be 5-1 after these two. Because it doesn't get any easier after that. Get it while the getting's good, guys. Yep. Phil says, Vegas, my question is Teflon Dawn and Skiller Coach is going to be ready to coach QKD and scheme versus these teams because last season was no good. Cody says it would be nice if there's no seeding and Will Howard plays Baltimore to get into the play. You know what? That may be the case. I mean, at that point, especially if Baltimore doesn't turn around and pick things up like I think they're going to do. If a lot of people are correct and they just have a down season, there's a great chance we can maybe see some Will Howard in Week 18, trying to rest starters, of course, for the playoffs. And you know what, guys? Again, just a half game outside of the number 1 seed. It might be an extra week. A lot of football left. I do understand that. But, again, we are in a good position. It's fun to enjoy it a little bit, and that's all I'm trying to do because, again, if we lose the last couple games, we're sitting at 1-3. These conversations are all different. The moods are different. Everybody's ready to just, so – I'm just trying to enjoy it a little bit while we can. Jamal says, not ignoring you. Still looking for the article. I didn't save it, but I did read the article. No, you're good, dude. Cody says, assuming we have already clinched, of course. Vegas says, that's a fair question. Hopefully they do whatever is needed to get it done. 1 and out is played out at this point. We're so super due for a playoff win. I mean, come on. I can feel it in my bones. This is the longest period of time, guys, in the Super Bowl era that we have not won a Super Bowl or a playoff game. So people were hungry. Vegas says UCLA beat Penn State but lost to UNLV. I never thought I would say that. I don't know what the hell happened in this Penn State game, Mike.
James Franklin going, I don't know if we have any running backs who can play right now or linebackers who can play. You got like 4 or 5-star recruits or 4 or 5-star recruits sitting there at linebackers ready to play. I don't know if we have anyone who can play.
That guy seems like a little dummy.
You got 2 running backs who could potentially go the first and second round, and you've made them look incompetent this year.
Let me grab a couple.
You can't
Let me get a
recruit
couple
every
more
position
messages,
except
Mike.
the
We
fucking
do
wide
have to get
receiver.
into our CBS pick'em results.
I'm sorry. I
I'm
apologize.
believe me, I'm already tired of the Penn State talk, so we're good. Let's move on.
I'm sorry.
Tortilla says, "Come on down to Sac State, Vanilla. We might be good in 20 years." Corey says, "Go ahead."
Take an application.
We're still talking about Penn State.
I was replying to the comment.
All right. Corey says every team lost in Philly, or every Philly team lost in sports. Every NFL team that had Philly ties lost. Tell me it's not rigged, insane, and the number to watch this past week was 41 equals 4-1 or 1-4. See, Corey's deep. You know what I mean? If you're not ready for his comments, you're like, well, but he's deep, man. Vegas says Herbig will force 2 fumbles on Josh this year, leading to victories. And those are the kind of things we're going to need, guys. We're going to need big plays by big playmakers. And if it's not going to be Watt, it better be Herbig, because we have good pass rushing, Mike. We really do.
We do.
So these guys got to start doing what it is that we pay them to do. And again, Mike, I could see again with the leadership that we have this year, these guys playing a little bit more up to their standard than we've seen in the past. With Aaron Rodgers and then with Jalen Ramsey on the other side of the ball, I really feel that these guys are being good leaders for this team and can get these guys to play at the next level, where we didn't have so much the past few years, that vocal leadership on this team.
Yeah. And I don't see Jalen Ramsey allowing the defense to slack off. I don't see Aaron Rodgers allowing the offense to slack off.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that we should be good.
It.
No, I definitely believe you saw him, right? Mike is on top of it. I think he's on top of the Tomlin presser. But yeah, no, if that's what you said, that's what they said, bro. Like I said, I'm not doubting you one bit. And I hope sooner the better, in my opinion. Sooner the better we get Jalen Ramsey back, I'll feel more comfortable.
Yeah, because that's what I saw too. Is like they're going to have limited participation, then ramp up throughout the week. But then all the other reports coming out from every other reporter, not at the press conference, saying, "Oh, these guys are going to be out for a whole hell of a lot longer." And the Steelers aren't afraid to lie.
Mark Malone says that Ramsey will likely miss the next 3 weeks. Is kind of where I was hearing. That was kind of the scoop that I had saw. But again, Mike and Somber, they're keeping on the Mike Tomlin press conference. Any big scoop that does come across, they will certainly get that to us, I think, Mike.
Yeah, I'm following along.
Okay, all right.
Damn.
Mark Malone.
And again about Penn State. No, I'm joking.
Mike says, I'm sorry, Mark Malone says we need more 5'11" cornerbacks.
Whoa. According to Ian Rappaport and Tom Purcello, the Bengals are trading for Joe Flacco.
Damn, we're probably going to see Flacco next week. There you go, guys.
That's actually kind of interesting. A veteran quarterback on that team. Don't take defense is what they give them. That's a smart move.
That's a smart move, guys. You just heard it here first on the Two Dumb Yinzers. Joe Flacco looks like he's going to Cincinnati. I wanted Joey Browning in a couple weeks, but we may be getting us some Joe Flacco. That makes sense, Mike. Maybe to some capacity a little this week. Next week sounds like it would be a perfect week for him to really take over at starting quarterback when we see them. So there you go, guys. Joe Flacco, according to who, Mike? Adam Schefter?
No, Ian Rappaport and Tom Purcello.
All right, there you go. Very interesting. That makes things interesting, and especially for Cleveland. What if things doesn't work out? What if Dylan Gabriel gets hurt? What are they going to do? They go into Shador?
Right?
So
Gabriel didn't look too bad. I keep him out there if I'm Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, you have one game to go off. It's hard to say,
Yeah. But against, one of the greatest defenses of all time.
Why do you keep saying that? They're not. Even last year, they weren't that great. I mean,
all I heard.
Well, how can you not hear it when the team goes?
He's a wizard back there.
How can you
Jedi mind tricks?
How can you not say that when your team is 15-2? Of course, they could brag about it last year, but that defense was not what it was last year that I seen it.
All because there was a handful of plays this year where 4 or 5 guys on the defense moved, and then they went back into their base defense. And Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers were high and ayahuasca and go, oh, we'll just wait till 1 second, let the snap it, and we'll figure out where everyone's at. Boom, solved. Defense solved.
Yeah, again, 15-2 speaks volumes, and it definitely speaks its own language. Mike, let's move on. Phil still says, Mike, point is why Why talk about Bills? 2 divisional games coming up when it comes to the week versus the team that loves losing Super Bowls. We'll talk about them then. Follows that up by saying, remember what I said, Teflon Dawn wins a playoff game. I'll change my name to YT name. I'll change my YouTube name to Loser. Cody says we are going to end up playing Baltimore and Pittsburgh this year, round 1, although it could be the Jags or the Colts. Do you expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to continue this early success? I mean, they went from being one of the worst teams in the league last year. Now, Mike, only because the Colts are playing as good as they are not in the lead in that division. Otherwise, Jacksonville would be in the lead. They would be getting a bye. The Colts have the bye right now. Mike, is Jacksonville, can this team, as people ask about us, can they sustain success? Can they carry this through the season, Mike? Because, again, you didn't add much. You added Travis Hunter. You added a couple pieces. But, again, they were the worst team in the league. Mike, this team, bad. Again, last night, winning against the Chiefs, and you got to take this team serious now.
Yeah, and well, Trevor Lawrence is prone to make stupid plays too. I think they can win the AFC South. It's going to come down to them, the Colts, but I don't have faith in Trevor Lawrence. I just don't think he's it. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's that guy that's going to get you to where you want to go. I think, he may have been overvalued coming out of Clemson, but I don't know. You watch him, like, just reading about Jacksonville fans, they're saying, like, actually last night he had problems with the play clock, and that's a thing that's plagued him throughout his entire career. Apparently, it's like his game management skills during the games. Yeah, they won, but he will do stuff that makes it more difficult to win. He'll miss some open guys. I just don't think he's the guy. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
I think Jacksonville gets – I think if Trevor Lawrence was on a good team to start off – again, these guys, I always say this about these top quarterbacks. They go to the worst teams, and before they even get a chance, their careers are over. I like him. I think he's going to do fine. I think he did great. I mean, he was winning national championships and Heismans and everything else in college. I think that he's going to be fine ultimately in the league, especially when they build a little bit of a team in Jacksonville. You can only do so much as one guy, and they did start building a little bit more, and you're starting to see that, Mike.
I like the pieces that they have. It's just not taking Aiden Hutchinson. It totally set that franchise back, because you could have had him on that defense, and you get Daniel or whoever they took, Trayvon Walker, the biggest mistake they've ever made.
All right, let's see. Somber says, okay, he's talking to Jamal. Just saw that. Yeah, I agree. I don't like Flacco going to Cincinnati. I got to be honest.
Because that actually makes sense. He will get.
I know.
He's not gonna throw stupid interceptions.
And he has receivers, guys. That's one thing we have to remember. This guy can, he's smart. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's a veteran. He's, and he has weapons. As being what's being said here by Somber, that makes them dangerous again. Just got a ragdoll, my guess. So there you go, guys. I feel a little less confident than I did about an hour ago, but you know what? It is what it is, and we gotta take what we're given. And I'm not afraid of Joe Flacco, but again, I wanted some Joey Browning.
Yeah.
Jake Browning.
Oh, Flacco does have 6 interceptions through 4 games, though. We got that going for us. So the interceptions are still there.
I would take Browning if Flacco had 15 interceptions. I would rather face Jake Browning.
Me too, just because the Flacco, he's had success against the Steelers, especially recently with Cleveland and in Indianapolis. So.
I know Mark Malone says, crap, Flacco can rape Tomlin's anus at will. I agree. I think that this doesn't make them, this makes them tougher to beat. No two ways about it. What else do we got? Corey says next year he's going to be a Steeler. Shaking my head. He's what we call a homie hopper in the NFL world. Effing all the rivals in the streets. Tortilla says we have to sign Flacco next year to complete the Northern Trail. And he was brought up at some point over the past couple of years, Mike. We certainly brought Flacco's name up it's a few points. Mark Malone says Flacco may be the biggest rapist of Tomlin's anus of all time, aside for Tom Brady, who's a big rapist of Tomlin's anus. No two ways about that. Somber says, damn, they traded Flacco and a 6th for a 5th. And you know what? They had to do something. They couldn't continue their season the way that it was going, Mike. This was a smart move on behalf of the Bengals. Again, it's going to get guys to those two receivers, and at the end of the day, that's what their team is. So
it was a smart move by the Browns too. You eliminate Joe Flacco, so now it's like, okay, we just got the two rookie quarterbacks up there.
I'm just wondering if they're going to be able that offensive line is going to be able to protect that old man, Mike, and that's an issue that we have.
He might get blown into dust. His bros might just evaporate.
And that's what we said. Hit. I mean, we worried about that here. Can our line protect our older quarterback? So they'll be in that as well. But again, Mike, that offensive line is really it's historically bad in Cincinnati. So again, that hopefully we could get a little help from that. But Mike, a guy that's going to be able to get the ball in the hands of Jamar Chase is again something that I'm less comfortable with than I was going up against Jake Browning.
yeah, just because, like you said, up here, he's not going to do anything stupid. But hopefully the time in Cleveland rubbed off on him.
Cody says Joe Flacco is going to be the first quarterback to get murdered during a game. If you thought Browns O-line was bad, Joe Flacco, welcome to Cincy. Vegas said Sunshine is playing far better this year for the Jags. Yeah, he is. And again, like I said, this is still, they don't have a great team around them. They're getting better as a team. And once you give him a good team, they're going to win. They're going to win football games. And again, Mike, from going from last place in the league, basically, with the 4-1 start and beating, and who they just beat? They beat somebody last night, Kansas City. You know,
I don't know. Their coach is kind of corny. I still remember him from his opening press conference. Duval, how's that inspire confidence in any player? I don't know, but maybe he's just retarded enough that he's on the spectrum enough that they respect him. But
what's up with even this corny? Who cares how corny the coach is?
I do.
We're winning football games. That's all that matters. Vegas says, or I'm sorry, Tortilla says the Jags defense looks legit and they have a good run game. Hit that like button, Steeler fan. Absolutely, man. Thank you to Jamal. Let me get through a few more of these mics. I am going to reveal the results. And again, today we are going to compare the Steelers and the Ravens remaining schedule to see how we feel that it's going to play out, Mike, as the season goes along here. Cody says Flacco had a good O-line in Indianapolis. Look at what it is doing for Daniel Jones.
Indy has a good team too. They had a good team before he got there.
Corey says this is just a window to start Sanders in 2 to 3 weeks. It's all narrative. It looks like after we smash the Browns, they'll start Sanders. Tortilla says just another nameless gray anus. Sommer says Flacco and Njoku worries me. I was looking at the numbers, Mike. Njoku was their big he was their big receiver last week for the Browns, and we'd have to figure out how to stop Njoku. I mean, he's going to be a problem. He'll be a problem.
40 some odd years of watching football, tight ends across the middle. We can't cover them.
Yeah. All right, guys. It looks like we did catch up on that, Mike. Let's get a quick the results from the CBS Pick'em for this week, Mike. As the last game of the week was played last night, the Jacksonville Jaguars improved to 4-1. Mike, they beat Kansas City 31-28. The Chiefs fall to 2-3 on the season. This is what the picks look like as of right now, Mike. According to week 5, it was so bad. These games were so unpredictable and went off the track so much. The best score all through this weekend was 7 games, correct, Mike? Of the 14 games played this weekend, 7, just half the games. It was by quite a few different people.
Yeah.
RB, who's been solid from day one. Also, Vegas, who's been very solid since day one. Finch got up in the mix with a 7-win week, and then Cody also with a 7-win week. Mike, you, Corey, and Derpy and Jamal all finished with 6. Phil the Steel finished with 5. And then me and Richard, who generally does pretty well, we finished way at the bottom. So we are the biggest losers of the week with the 4. Again, this week was terrible for all of us, Mike. Let me get us some overall results. This is what it looks like from top to bottom, all the way up to week 5. RB in first place with 54 overall. Vegas with 53 in second place. Richard in third place with 50 correct until this point. Finch with 49. Cody, him and Mike both have 48. I have 47. Corey and Derpy have 46. Field of Steel with 40. Jamal, of course, got in late. He has 6. So that is where we stand as of right now, guys. RB at the top with 54. Still a long way to go going into week 6 in the NFL football season. Again, get them picks in by Thursday night as Thursday night football kicks off. And don't forget, 1 week from this Thursday night, the Steelers are going to be on Thursday against the Bengals next week. So, Mike, it's Steelers season. It's here. And again, on these CBS picks, and I do want to say great job to everybody. It was a rough week. Again, the leaders only getting half of the games right, which is very uncharacteristic because, Mike, our leaderboard is full of tough competition as people generally do nail it pretty good and have great picks. So there you go, guys. At this point, that's what it looks like. Don't forget to get your picks in by Thursday. You don't want to miss any games. And like I said, you can hit the link either on the terrible board or just right outside on the main page. Hit that link, sign up. It costs nothing. Takes about 30 seconds, and get your picks in. It's a lot of fun. Mike, it is time. Are you ready? You know what? Let's grab a couple of these quick messages, and then we are going to compare what it looks like, what the Steelers schedule looks like compared to what the Ravens schedule looks like as the season is going to play out. And we're going to get a feel of how we think things are going to go, because a lot of people are saying that they think Baltimore is they're going to shit the bed. I disagree, and we'll take a look and we'll see. Excuse me. Cody says Joe Burrow could get the ball in the hands of both his wide receivers, and he can move around, and he got hurt. If you think Flacco is a better quarterback than Burrow, I guess we can be worried. I think he's good enough to get the ball in those guys' hands. My only concern for Flacco would be that offensive line keeping him protected. And, again, he's an older guy, so that would be my concern if I was Cincinnati.
Yeah, my only concern is he's better than Jake Browning. But, he does have the mobility of me back there.
Right. Vegas as well. We should all be ashamed of ourselves for this. Of course, the picks went terribly wrong this weekend.
The only person who needs to feel shame is Corey for being tied with Derpy. For shame, Corey.
That's all right.
Shame.
It's all right. It was a rough.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Corey says, somber now. We got to worry about Flacco's quick release to Chase in the slant. If he crosses the middle at the top speed, ain't nobody catching him. Also says Vegas. Now there were so many upsets that should have been easy games. The last 2 games should have been obvious. No, you're right. It was a crazy week. No two ways about it, guys. You know what? And I think I would still pick the same way if I had to pick these same games over again this week.
Too.
So that is that, Mike. Let me get to where the schedules do fall here for both the Steelers and the Ravens. I had it somewhere. There it is. All right, guys. So this is I'm only going to go by teams, Mike. We're not going to go by order. This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers have left remaining on their schedule. Again, still a long way to go. Nonetheless, we still have all of our division games. 2 against Cleveland, 2 against Cincy, and 2 against Baltimore. So we have all division. We also have Detroit. We have Indianapolis. We have the Chargers. We have the Bills. We have Green Bay. We have the Bears. And we have Miami. Let me just give you some the teams on the Ravens side, and then we will look at these and kind of try to figure out where we think we're going to land. The Ravens' remaining schedule, they played Cleveland once. So as far as the division goes, they play us twice, they play Cincy twice, and 1 more against Cleveland. This is who the Ravens have for the rest of the season. The Dolphins, the Jets, the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers, and the Patriots. There's really nobody in that list that scares me, with the exception of Green Bay. But that's what they have. We have, again, the Lions, the Colts, the Chargers, the Bills, the Packers, all division games, and then Miami, Chicago. They, again, Mike, Minnesota and Green Bay being the two teams I would think that's remaining on their schedule that's really good teams, maybe, or even Green Bay is really good, Minnesota's good, and New England, I guess, is good. So let's take a look, Mike. Yeah. Let's just say, let's look at divisions. We still have all 6 of our division games. To me, it's hard because Baltimore, it's hard to tell where they're going to be a month from now. But I say if we go 4-2 in the division, which I think is totally safe to say, we could probably go in 4-2. You think? 4-2 in the division.
4-2 for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-2 sounds about fair.
Now let's look at these other games, Mike. Detroit, Indianapolis. Let's just go through them one at a time. Detroit, win or lose?
Lose.
The Colts, win or lose?
Win.
The Chargers, win or lose?
Ooh. Damn, that's a tough one because that is out west. Loss.
Buffalo, win or lose?
I'm calling the upset now.
Green Bay, win or lose?
Win.
Chicago, win or lose?
Win.
In Miami.
Win.
So, Detroit, Lions, Colts, Chargers, Packers, Bills. Besides our 6 division games, those 5 are the games that I think that are most concerning, Mike. That only leaves Miami, and that only leaves Chicago. So, we're going basically on, we're hoping that we can win the games that we should win. Miami's, the Chicago's. But those other games, again, Lions, Colts, Chargers, Bills, Packers, in all division, Mike. That's what's kind of worrisome to me. That's a lot of good football. But again, that's you're going to be seasoned by the time you get to January. If you could win a lot of these games, Mike. So of the remaining games, you have a few losses on it. Let's take a look at what Baltimore has left. Mike, their best team they do play is Green Bay. The next 2 best teams I'd say were Minnesota and New England. 2 teams that we've played and we've beat already. But those are going to be 2 of the better teams of the 3 that the Ravens have the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think you have to put the Rams as a better team than the Ravens at this point.
And again, I didn't count them. That was the game that's next on our list, but I guess I have to count them. The Rams, and we will find out this weekend. But let's go through these, Mike. Again, what you think the Ravens are. Let's see how this would play out. Chicago.
Loss.
The Ravens lose?
Yep.
Interesting. Minnesota.
Loss.
Green Bay.
Win.
New England.
Loss. No, win.
The Jets.
Win.
Everybody's assuming the Jets are a big loss. The Jets are going to win some football games. They haven't won
any yet. They are, but
they might win 1 or 2, maybe even 3. So you got to consider that. They're probably going to beat somebody. And then finally, Mike, the Miami Dolphins. You think they'll be able to probably beat them?
Oh yeah, they'll be able to beat Miami.
So I'm just saying, this is the level of competition that I'm talking about. The Lions, the Colts, the Chargers, the Packers, and the Bills. We have those teams left. Their better teams, Mike, are Green Bay, Minnesota, and New England. So that's all I'm saying. It gives Baltimore an opportunity because they got their tough games out of the way. They played Detroit and lost. They played Buffalo and lost. They played their Kansas City game already. So now they're into their games that we were able to get early. The Jets, the Patriots, Minnesota. That's all I'm saying. If they're able to turn it around, this is going to be the time they do it, Mike, on the second part of the season. Because, again, the toughest team I see on the Ravens schedule from here on out is the Green Bay Packers. And this team is a team that did lose to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the Ravens beat the Browns. So, therefore, the Ravens should beat the Packers.
If you're going to go with that theory, of course.
Hey, hey, man, that's what we're running with here. So I'm going to run with it.
So we got, Mike, we have all 6 division games left.
Yeah.
The Lions, the Colts, the Chargers, the Packers, the Bills, and then the Dolphins and Chicago. Again, Mike, their toughest games are the 5 division games left. Yeah. Green Bay being the best, I would say, and then Minnesota, New England, both the teams who we played. So, again, Mike, how are you feeling? You're still feeling right around 11 wins. You're still feeling that Baltimore is going to shit the bed? I mean,
Baltimore's going to shit the bed. I don't trust that defense, which is a weird thing to say. I just don't trust that defense at all. The way Derrick Henry has been running, like John said on the board, he went from King Henry to Prince Albert. He's not who he once was. And this team is a very beatable team. And if you lose to the Rams, and fall to 1-5, is that team going to collapse from all the outside noise of saying we got to fire this guy, we got to fire that guy? Or are they going to collapse and upon themselves?
I have a hard time
This
thinking.
team's had adversity, but nothing like this deep of a hole.
I have a hard time thinking that Henry is down and out, and he's going to be down, and he's as you said.
I know, but just going by body language and everything after every loss, man, they just don't look.
So you're saying they're going to continue to take L's, Mike? The facts that these games were against Buffalo, the fact that these games were against Detroit, the fact that these games were against Patrick Mahomes, you're going to continue to say they're going to continue to lose as they continue to play Miami, the Jets, Chicago, the Vikings, the Bengals. They're going to continue to be as rough as it's been after playing those other teams.
Like teams like the Rams, Vikings, maybe the Packers and the Patriots, a quarterback that can, and offenses that can put up points. Yeah, because that defense is Swiss cheese right now. If they can fix that defense, but apparently their big move on defense
Let
is
me ask you something, Mike.
Yeah.
Say the Steelers played the schedule that they played, and we just couldn't beat Buffalo because we usually can't. We just couldn't beat Detroit because they're, and, you wouldn't think that the Steelers were down and out. I mean, things would look rough, of course, because, again, as they looked rough in our loss, they usually do when you lose a football game. So, again, I'm just saying, consider the opposition. Consider that they played the best teams in the league. And yes, if they want to be considered the best and when they want to be considered a Super Bowl contender, you have to win some of them games, of course. But, again, Mike, the level of competition, that's not enough for you to say that, this team might just be a little bit better than this 1-4 that we're seeing.
No, just because the way they were finding ways to lose games. Like
they were killed. They're not getting killed. They're close.
They got killed. They got killed last week. Yeah, they had a lot of injuries.
Obviously, the Houston. We're not talking about Houston. I'm talking about the three teams that I mentioned.
I don't know. It's the way they were losing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's finding ways to lose.
All right. Interesting. All right. Let's get back on the board here. Oh, geez. Right about here. Okay. I think I found it. Okay. We should all be ashamed of ourselves, Vegas said. Corey was talking about Flacco. I'm going to go right past that. Vegas is not one of us picked any of them, though. Talking about the picks. All right, I'm going to go right here. Corey says, I picked Carolina to pull off an upset, and I surprisingly got it. I just assumed they were due one. Yeah, they won a couple games early. Who would have thought? Carolina looking a little better than most people expected. Like Tortilla says it's actually genuinely smart as hell of the Browns to trade Flacco to the Bengals. He isn't going to make them that much better, but they will be better against us. So potential they could take down two teams. And that's the thing, Mike. He's just, again, he's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been involved with good teams. And you know what? You see what he could do on bad teams. He could come in and be semi-productive. Yeah. And again, you have receivers like they have in Cincinnati. As long as they keep this guy off his back as much as they can, he's going to find ways to get those guys the ball. Again, that changes the game up, Mike. It changes those two Bengals games up for sure compared to the Jake Browner that I was hoping for next week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he plays this week against Green Bay, I believe. But, like someone said on the board, man, that O-line, and has he gone to the well too many times? Does he have anything left in the tank at this point in his career?
Mike, can we say maybe their line, as we hope that our line continues to improve, maybe Cincinnati's line will improve as the season goes? And
it could. It's always a possibility.
All right. Vegas says that the Chargers game will look like a home game. Of course, it always does. Anytime we're out there out west, a lot of those games do look like home games. We'll take it. We'll certainly take that. Corey says at Vegas, very lucky pick for sure. Small win at the end of the week. Small wins add up. They're talking about the picks. Let's see. John says not too long ago, the Steelers were 10-0, and my eyes told me that they weren't what their record was. I'm in the same mindset. It's understandable until they find out ways to win in January. You have no reason to really think too differently. Again, let's see if they could win one in January, and then we could continue. We could finally move past that, But until that happens, I guess you realistically can't. Tortilla says Corvette. Phyllis Still says that Steeler Freak no AFC game, championship game since 2008. We went to the AFC game and lost, I don't know, about 10 years ago, didn't we, to New England or somebody? I think at one point we did. We snuck into the AFC championship game and lost. Wasn't even close. I think it was very forgettable, actually. Corey says that John about us this year because I think it's obvious what we are. We're a lucky team that is starting to catch fire and finally come together, but are now stunted by injuries. A new excuse if we fall. I do want to say welcome to Richard W. Nelson Jr. on the board. Always great seeing new faces. I do want to say welcome. He says Cleveland is going to wail on Pittsburgh. John says trusting Jackson in the playoffs is always making a mistake. He is only the regular season MVP. My thing about that, he's good enough though to, as we were saying, you think at some point Carolina is going to win football games because they're due. I'm just saying one of these teams, these Buffalo teams, people continue to call choke teams, and Baltimore and Lamar, these teams are due. Somebody's going to win eventually, right, Mike? Especially if the Kansas City train is stopped, somebody has to fill the void.
Someone has to, yeah. But until you can prove that you can do it, you're going to have that label. It is what it is, whether it's justified or not. But I think in his case, it is kind of justified. So, he had 4 interceptions all of last season. Then he goes into the second round of the playoffs and just became, Oprah. You get a football. Everyone gets a football. It's a trend with him. He's damn good in the regular season, but once that pressure hits, man, he just can't do it. And a lot of damn good quarterbacks fall into that category too.
Corey says, I don't buy into the players declining that hard and that fast. Something else a factor, and he will bounce back in a big way. He cannot be overlooked. Also, Jamal says, did you hear about the heated argument that led to GP getting traded? GP has just responded. If it weren't for him, we would probably, and leaves it there. I did not see that. I'll have to check that out. He followed that up by saying, goes on to say that he provoked GP and questioned his willingness to play hard. Who is he? Any guesses? Interesting. I did not see that. I'm going to certainly keep an eye on that. Thank you, Jamal.
I would love it if it was Jalen Warren. Because that guy plays hard nonstop.
RB says people are hopeful our offensive line improves because of the youth and pedigree the Bengals don't have. That's true. I mean, this is a line that we're building, Mike. This is the future of our franchise, if you will.
Yeah.
Schmabs, what's going on? Great to see you on the board. Schmab says there's no powerhouses in the NFL this year. I would agree. I would say the closest thing to a powerhouse this year would be Philadelphia. Again, Detroit with the most points in the league this year, Mike. They were a 15-team winner last year. And, so them sitting here 4-1, most points scored, maybe they might be the closest thing to a powerhouse. Certainly ain't the Chiefs, I can tell you that. And again, Buffalo, they lose a game. Listen, they lose this game at the end of the game the other night on, 3 points. What was it, 23-20?
Yeah.
So again, I'm not counting Buffalo out. This team's going to win a lot of football games, and with the quarterback like they have, Mike, I think they're going to win a lot of football games. But as far as powerhouses go, it's usually who you give the team that's undefeated right around week 6.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We have a bunch of 9 one-loss teams in the league, so it's hard to say who a powerhouse is. If I had to say somebody, it'd be one of those 3 teams. For me at this point, Mike, it would be Buffalo, it would be Philadelphia, or it would be Detroit. Would be if I was to have to pick a powerhouse, that's who one of those 3 teams would be. Them.
That would be the 3 right there. But all 3 of them have flaws.
Absolutely,
and have question marks. Yes, Philly's coming off Super Bowl, but they have flaws on that offense. It's not a good offense. The scoring defense, I don't think it's that well or looking good on total defense or some shit like that. But yet they're finding ways to win games. But how long can you keep doing that? Can that luck keep going? Can Jalen Hurts turn it on in the playoffs like he seems to do every time you get there? Is that luck going to run out? Is he going to get a playoff run to where he can't become the quarterback that he has been in the playoffs and in the Super Bowls that we've seen? So they have question marks there.
And I think the Packers were early. A lot of people consider them to be the team. A lot of people wanted to see them. And you know what? I'm lobbying for the Aaron Rodgers ride off into the sunset season in the Packers-Steelers Super Bowl as Aaron Rodgers beats the Packers. I would love for this to happen more than anything. But That seems to be the case, Mike. But after they lose to the Browns and then tie, I think that took a little bit of sail out of people's wind out of people's sails as far as Green Bay. But I wouldn't look past them, Mike. But as far as being the powerhouse, I would say one of those other three teams. We'll continue to see Buffalo win a lot of football games this year. We'll continue to see Detroit win a lot of football games, and we'll continue to see Philadelphia. That's not going to change. All three of those teams are going to win a lot of games. Teams like us have to find a way to hang in there. Again, win the games that you should win, maybe win a couple that you shouldn't win. Back on the board, John says KC. I do want to say what's up, John. I don't remember if I said what's up earlier. KC had preseason mistakes and special teams choking yesterday. My eyes tell me they are still a great team, and that's what I'm saying too. I'm not counting out KC ultimately because they find ways to win football games, and they've been doing it with a lot of faults, as Mike mentioned. Some of these other teams have their issues and still have flaws, but Kansas City, as they have continued to have flaws year after year, continue to find their way to the championship game, continue to find their way to the Super Bowl. So I don't count them out entirely. Do I count them as a powerhouse? No. But Mike, I think that they're going to win a lot of football games too. Only 2-3 after 5, but you still have a lot of season left.
I don't know, man. The way Chris Jones kind of quit on that last play.
Mike, how many wins do you expect the Chiefs to have after 17 games played this year?
Ooh. If they don't get themselves a running back,
I don't. Just off
8, maybe 9.
9 wins totals is what you're saying as good as the Chiefs are in your opinion.
Yeah,
okay.
It is like they're not playing as well as they have in the past.
I see the thing. Again, Mike, I always thought they had flaws, but they always just found ways to win. They had good coach. They have a great quarterback. That's what concerns me about I don't think that they're a great team. I think they just find ways to win, and I think that's what makes them scary.
And I think Mahomes is the team's leading rusher.
He runs like a fat pregnant chick.
He has 190 yards. Kareem Hunt 164, Pachenko 163. He's their offense right now. It is, and that's the problem. They don't have Rashee Rice either. They get Rashee Rice back. If they can trade for a decent running back, they might be able to make a run. But without that, their defense isn't what it once was. It feels like. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in that team. Where normally I would be like, yeah, they're going to turn it around. Like, the supporting cast is not what it once was.
Did they turn it on in the playoffs? Can they win a couple games in the playoffs? If anybody can, it's them. They do it every year.
It's same thing. Like I said, though, with Hurts, is that that's got to run out at some point? You would think, and
I would hope it would have already happened.
You would hope, but I think like someone like Mahomes can. But can the rest of the supporting cast do it as well? Can his O-line, his receivers, and his running backs?
Got to remember, this team didn't score over 31 points all season last year, Mike, and they still went on to be the high seed. So again, you got to watch this team. They're a good football team. At the end of the day, they're coached well. They have a great quarterback. So we will see. Corey says on the board, I bet it was Minka or Hayward that said that to GP. That's a very good question. Again, as Jamal did give us a scoop about what was said by George Pickens. We'll continue to look into that. Tortilla says it was probably Roman Wilson who told GP that he didn't work hard. Jamal does come back. He does say this. He says, well, it had something to do with Minka as well as the team got into a huge argument, and GP and I, quote, called TJ a dirty white fuck. I think is that what that says. You have to look it up. True story. No, I believe you, man. John. John says KC 11-6. They will be a different team in the playoffs as usual. That's what I'm saying. They just turn it on in the playoffs. Some teams do that. I wish we had that button at this point. Anyway, John also says I don't see a true dominant team thus far. The quality is shit right now across the league. It's very interesting. It's an interesting year. We got to admit that, guys. And the Steelers, again, I think are just as much in the middle of all this as anybody. Mike, let's just touch on a couple of things as we are rounding third. We do have a trivia coming up shortly. Mike, I didn't get to talk about it yesterday because there was so much to talk about. And then I had mic issues at the end of the show. Over the weekend, our other football team here in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, of course, our soccer team, they fall 3-1 over the weekend to the Miami FC squad. They will be playing Indy 11 this Saturday night at 7 o'clock. The Pittsburgh Penguins dropping the puck tonight on the season, Mike. The Penguins going to New York to play the Rangers to kick off the NHL hockey season for the Pens. Mike, this is the season opener tonight, 8 o'clock. Penguins going up against their former coach, Mike Sullivan, as he coaches the New York Rangers in the puck dropping game. Mike, Penguins playoffs this year?
No, but building in that direction. They're starting this year. You can tell Mike Sullivan's no longer the coach. Starting 2 teenagers on the team, the first time since Jordan Stahl and Chris Letang.
And I do want to say this: they went something like 5-1 in the preseason. So if that's any kind of sign moving forward, that's always good.
Artus Silvos is the starting goalie in goal tonight. Whoever the fuck that is.
Yeah. Also, Pitt did have a big win over the weekend. Like they beat Boston College 48-7. As Mason Henschel went 30 for 41. True freshman went 30 for 41, 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. Pitt will be back at it next weekend as they go up against number 25 SFU. That game is at Saturday at noon. And Mike, I listen. I was going to
bring it up. Bring it up. I'll take my medicine.
All right. So Penn State is the first team in 40 years,
set in history, baby,
to be ranked in the top 10 and lose to a team that didn't have a win.
Yeah.
UCLA beats Penn State 42-37. Penn State falls out of the top 25, and again, they are the first team to lose to an 0-4 team, first top 10 team to lose to an 0-4 team in 40 years. Mike, Penn State does have a chance to redeem themselves as they do host Northwestern Saturday. The Wildcats will be traveling to Happy Valley 3:30 on Saturday afternoon.
You know what, James Franklin, you can't win the big one. We all know this, but you did rebuild the Penn State program. You brought them back. I'll bring them back to where they are now. I think it's time for James Franklin to move on to another program to rebuild them and not win a big game.
All right, there you go, guys. That is round.
You can take Drew Aller with you.
Again, people don't want to care. People don't care about Penn State. Let's move on, Mike.
But you bring it up to antagonize me.
I did. That's exactly why I brought it up. Again, guys, Pittsburgh Steelers 3-1, first place. They are the number 3 seed in the AFC right now, and just a half game out of the number 1 seed. The second place team, Cincinnati, 2-3, looking like they're grabbing Joe Flacco to help their cause. Again, Mike, the Ravens, the Browns, both sitting at 1-4 in the basement. So there you go, guys. Do what you want. We have a big game. It is the Brownies game, Mike. This is the week I'm going to eat brownies. I didn't make brownies last week. I figured I'm going to save it for the Browns game. I'll make some brownies and enjoy it. But, Mike, we got to head into the trivia and start getting ready to wrap things up. So why don't you tell everybody about the website?
The twodumbyinzers.com. Check it out, where you will find nothing to do with Penn State over there. We got all our social media links, the dumb thoughts. Check it out, guys. The twodumbyinzers.com. No Penn State shit over there. I'm a free agent. I'm in the portal. I am taking offers, baby.
Another very important piece of information about the Steelers. Our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, did get a new helmet.
I seen it.
He does not have the Gazoo helmet, guys. He did, as of yesterday, got a new Vicis Pro VICIS Pro helmet that he's happy with. So if you see him, he's not going to have the big Gazoo ball helmet on his head this week, guys. I think he said that he's happy with this new helmet that he got at the beginning of the week. So big news in Pittsburgh practice, at Steeler practice. Mike, let's get into the question of the day. Of course, it's how well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Mike, you know how the game goes. You first got to put on your thinking cap along with the board, and I'm going to ask the question, and we're going to see if you know the answer.
Let's do this.
So here is the question of the day. Of course, it's a Cleveland Browns question. It goes a little something like this. How many championships do the Cleveland Browns have? Of course, they just were told that they could be official this past April with their championships that were pre-Super Bowl era. How many championships do the Browns claim to have, guys, is the question of the day. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On the Tube.
All right. Question of the day: how many championships do the Cleveland Browns claim to have? Cody's saying, well, they have 0, which is true. They have no Super Bowls, and that's all that matters. Then his guess is -10. But they did have the championships prior to the Super Bowl era, especially in the 50s. John saying 3. Mike, what's the thought process?
I know they have a lot. It's like 7 or 8. I'm going to go 8.
Tortilla saying, according to Downs for Browns website, 54.
Okay. Is it like we're down for the Cleveland Browns, or like I have an extra chromosome and I'm down for the Browns?
Right.
I just want to make sure here, because that's going to make,
Cody's
why
now
they would
saying
think they have
-20.
that many. Yeah.
Vegas is saying 12. Vegas is saying -20. John says 3. Mike, you were going to say 8. Is that your final answer? All right, I'm going to lock you in on 8.
Otto Graham, baby.
You were locked in. Question of the day: how many championships do the Browns claim to have? They just back in April officially said they count. Again, if it's pre-Super Bowl, it means nothing. But guys, question of the day: how many championships do the Browns claim to have officially? And I guess according to the NFL, they do. But guys, how many? Some different answers. I'm seeing 12. I'm seeing 3. I'm seeing Cody with some different answers. Mike, and you stuck with 8. The correct answer to the question of how many championships the Browns claim to have. Guys, the answer, of course, they did it in 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 1954, 1955, 1964 for a total of 8 times. Mike, you did get that correct. 8 championships are what the Browns officially have, I guess. Do what you want with that. None of them are Super Bowls. So there you are, 8 championships.
Wouldn't this be for the team that's in?
It would be for the team that's in Baltimore. But
Just saying.
I know. Do what you want.
You can't come in like, oh, we're a brand new franchise, but we have all this history.
Yeah. It was interesting the way they did that, Mike. The way they moved out and went back to the old colors, and the new franchise became the old team. And the way it played out.
Like that.
That's going to cause confusion down the road for people that didn't live through the time.
Yeah.
They're going to say, "What? This? They moved it? Who?"
Yeah, it made no sense, and I still defend Art Modell to this day. At the city of Cleveland fucked him over after he bailed them out numerous times. The city gave them money so they wouldn't go bankrupt, and they decided to reward 2 other teams with money for stadiums. And he rightfully said, "Fuck you! I'm taking my team and I'm leaving."
All right, let's get
R.I.P. Art Modell.
Let me get down here. I want to just make sure we don't miss anybody today, Mike. I don't want to miss anybody. We don't want any bad juju. We're heading into a big game. We need all good juju. Let's start right here. Okay, John 11 and 6. I think we got that one. All right, so I'm going to start right here, Mike. Kenneth says at least our offense should be able to wreck Cincy. Hey, you're right. Hopefully that be the case. So we'll continue to hope that will be the way. Also, RB says Rashard Smith, rookie out of SMU, will turn up at halfback with Kansas City as the year goes on. John says the weekly picks reflect how bad teams are currently playing. Bipolar. Absolutely, dude. I like it. It keeps more teams involved in more, what do they call it? More parity, I guess you could go with. And I like parity. That. Let's see. Vegas says, why not hire a giant sumo wrestler and shove him into the goal? Let's see. RB says soccer is pushed on America for the continued pussification of our youth. F soccer. I'm not a big soccer guy myself, I got to be honest, but I do know that our Riverhounds have certainly gained population, and I don't want to.
Touchy.
No, it's all right, man. A lot of people don't. That's the thing. Soccer's not an American sport, just like hockey, Mike. Well, there's a lot of people that just don't like hockey, which again. Cody says Penn State is the Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of touchy.
Fuck you, Cody. You just made the list, Cody.
There's touchy right there. RB says UCLA played that game with no OC. They had an interim play caller. Jeez, oh man, it's getting worse with this.
RB, you just made the list. You had to twist the knife inside me.
We traded Penn State for a new helmet.
Tortilla, you're on the list.
John says Rogers' new helmet swells after each game to match his ego. Let's see. Then a few guesses on that. Let's see right here. The question, Cody says, his grandparents were like 20 years old back in the day when the Browns were winning. Tortilla says, we just can't make shit up, guys. And then finally, Tortilla says, while everyone was at war, the Browns added 8 championships. Everybody was focusing on real issues like Nazis. War, not dying. The Browns over winning championships.
Reconstructing Europe and Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Vegas says you don't want any bad juju yet. Will ask us how many people are going to get hurt every week.
Exactly.
Why
exactly. This is what I deal with, guys. So there off you the go. Air, by the way.
Mike, we are going to get ready to wrap things up for the day. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you, as always. We truly do. We couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. And I do also want to say thank you to everybody that's at home. Maybe you're in your car, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you got your earbuds in, whatever the case may be. Thank you too. Mike, do you have any thoughts about today's show? Anything about the game? Anything about just being midweek here before we do get ready to wrap things up?
Like I've been saying, man, do not overlook the Browns. Do not think this is going to be a gimme game. As we saw last week, upsets happen. Browns, they did beat the Packers. Packers were talked about as a Super Bowl favorite for some people coming out of the NFC. So do not count them out. Do not overlook them. I'm going to be hammering that point home all week long.
Very important for sure. The mindset, no two ways about it. Let's see. Corey says, great news for the end of the show. I figured out how to do AI cartoons, so I'll be doing YouTube. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Thanks.
Pick all winners today, y'all. Absolutely. Again, you do have the extra day, but Thursday night, guys, you want to make sure you get in and get your picks before Thursday evening's game. It does kick off, I believe at 8:20 starts on Thursday. So do make sure you do that. That way you don't miss out. It can come down to one game. And also don't forget your tiebreakers. I noticed Derpy and I think somebody else forgot to do a tiebreaker for their picks this week. It could come down to the tiebreaker. You don't want to lose because you forgot or just didn't put the tiebreaker. So again, hit the link. There's a link just right outside on the YouTube page itself here of ours. Click on that, sign up, 30 seconds. Again, it's free, costs nothing. Make your picks every week with us, see how you do. I finished in dead last this week, so I will take the title of the biggest loser. That's totally fine. I'm in it, man. I'm in it to win it. And again, hopefully that changes and I go up and other people go down eventually. But you do want to sign up, get your picks in by Thursday, at least the first game's pick, and you could get take a little bit longer to get the rest of your games figured out heading into the weekend itself. Also, in Vegas says pick all winners. I do want to say this, Mike, if you haven't had a chance, go check out our social media. We are on a lot of social media. You just swing by on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok. Swing by to hit the follow button and keep up with what the Two Dumb Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't had a chance also, right below, hit the like button, hit the sub, even comment or a share would be great to hit that. It would help us out greatly. We appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much. And finally, Mike, again, the Monday Night Football game last night, it finishes with a Jacksonville win, 31-28, a very interesting year in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-1, were hosting the Browns this week. We have 3 out of 4 next games are at home. The one away game is the Thursday night game, guys. So this next month of football, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, but nonetheless, it's going to be very important for the Steelers as we try to continue to stack wins and put our foot on the throat of these Ravens because they wouldn't hesitate to do it to us, guys. So we will continue to get ready for the Browns this week and moving forward. We would hope that everybody will join us back tomorrow on Hump Day at our normal time as we will be continuing to get ready for the Browns, and we'll continue to dig up information, anything that we could find about our Steelers, and we'll get into Mike Tomlin's press conference also a little bit more, see what he had to say. So all that tomorrow, Mike. And one other thing I do want to say, because I got cut short yesterday on the show because of my microphone issue, do make sure you do try, and if you've tried, maybe go out and get yourself a case of Duquesne Pilsner, guys. The guys at Duquesne Pilsner are always happy to help us out and include us in their promotion, and we want to pay it back to them.
Yes.
Show them some love. Either stop by, hit a like button on their social media, get yourself a 6-pack, get yourself a case, and enjoy some Duquesne Pilsner on Steelers Sundays, guys. It is made right here in Pittsburgh, and as the can does say on the back, grab a Duke. Great beer. Mike and I do enjoy it every weekend for Steeler games. I also do want to say that's what's up at Corey Beavers. Let me know. I'll hit subscribe. So those guys, do check them out as well. Talking Trash with the Steelers gang, of course, Jamal. And then also Corey with Don't Drink That. His new show comes out. His new podcast comes out as a conspiracy podcast every Friday. So do keep your eyes open for that as well. You know what I'm working on? I'm working on the beer helmet, Corey. I have it on my list of things to do. Unfortunately, with my computers giving me issues over the past couple of weeks, there's other things that I kind of have to do before that, but I do have it right here on my list, the beer helmet. If I'm not wearing it, Mike will be wearing it. Somebody will be wearing a beer helmet before you know it, unless it's messing with your ingrown hair or whatever, Mike. But
you can talk about my ingrown hair. I need a list of rules, sir.
And also, Corey says, LOL, I need a blunt holder. Yes, you do. You need a blunt holder for sure. Always love going over there and checking out and watching Jamal smoke his blunt for about an hour and then lighting up the next one seamlessly. It really is good stuff. Guys, do go check both of the fellas out.
Living his best life, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cody. Greatly appreciated it, my friend. Always appreciated, and earlier as well, guys. Thank you so much. I do think that's everything, Mike. Anything before we wrap it up? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I have nothing, man. It was fun. Let's do it again tomorrow.
Again, guys, Cody says Penn State the GOAT. Again, thank you so much for everything, guys. Penguins tonight dropping the puck opener at Madison Square Garden in New York, facing former head coach Mike Sullivan. Check that out. And again, we will be back tomorrow at our regular time to get ready and continue to get ready for these Cleveland Browns. Big game, guys. It is a big game. We're going to continue this thing all the way through January into February, right here on the Two Dumb Yinzers. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great, safe Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.